Good morning, I'm Ryan Baker. The bonus bump is back. The Columbus Blue Jackets got a goal from Zach Werenski. That was all they would need as they beat the Dallas Stars 1-0 in Nationwide last night. Goalie Jet Greaves was spectacular, stopping all 28 shots that he faced. The win was a nice way to celebrate Charlie Coyle's 1,000th NHL game. The 12th-ranked Ohio State women's basketball team has won 7 straight after beating Indiana 81-67. The Lady Bucks actually trailed by 10 at the half, came surging back, led by Jelani Cambridge's 22. They'll travel to number 10 Iowa Sunday at 2. And a big matchup for Jake Diebler's basketball team tonight. The Buckeyes travel to Ann Arbor to face the number 3 Wolverines at 8. Pre-game coverage here on The Fan gets underway at 7. This one brought to you by Uber Eats. Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at El Vaquero. From now until March 31st, buy one quesadilla deal, get one free in the app.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lesmerises joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Friday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. Joshua Perry and for Reese. The great Bake is here as well. Tim May going to drop by at 10:30. Doug Lesmerises at 11. What we learned 11:30 rather for Doug, 11 o'clock. What we learned this week. Buckeye basketball in prime time against Michigan tonight at 8 o'clock. Get you set for that one as well. Nice win for the Jackets last night on the ice. And of course, NFL Championship weekend is here. We've got all sorts of fun along the way. Joshua, I've always wanted to ask you this question. I cannot believe I did not ask it to you 11 years ago. What did you make of the run fits in 2014 against Michigan State?
You know, Tyvis Powell, a little squirrely one over there on the...
He's so sinister.
T-Bone and Tyvis, you can catch it here 6 to 9.
Oh, don't promote them.
Oh, no, I'm going to promote him because I go on there, and when I do, I let Tyvis know that the way he sees the world is not really the way that the world actually was. So here's the thing. I got in my PFF. They gave me a warning, thankfully, that we were going to go here. I got in my PFF, and I started looking at some stats from when we played, 2014, 2015. Oh, yeah. They've got some stats going back. I can't find the game tape. It's not loaded in here, but the stats are. And Tyvis Powell, the reason he was so mad about the run fits in 2014 is because he is a bad tackler. Tyvis led the team in missed tackles in 2014, the year we won the championship. He had 19 of them. That's losing football, but we won a lot of games that year. Okay, so he had to make a couple tackles a couple times in a game, and all of a sudden he's running his skinny behind up from the secondary into the huddle asking me and Raekwon what's going on with the run fits. Mind your business, and if something happens to spill back there, make the tackle is the story for that one. So I get frustrated because we go through this probably like 6 times a year. I would say every 2 months, Tyvis wants to bring up something about run fits from one game where he was asked to make an extra tackle, and it bothers me.
So he's just all flash.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
He's a flashy player. He's watch me, look at me. I'll make a big interception in 13 against Michigan. I'll make an interception against in the national title. I'll do all they did, but I'll seal the Alabama game.
Sure.
But when it comes down to meat and potatoes, every play.
The highs were high.
Where is he?
The lows were low.
Where is he in that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the reality of the situation. Love Tyvis. Was a great teammate. Was a great leader for our team, no doubt. But in the tackling department, one of the fundamentals of the great sport of football fell a little bit flat.
I love 11 years later.
I know it, right?
The passion from JP. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can just see his face change. Yeah. It's so awesome.
We all had a job out there.
You guys are great buddies.
Yes, we are.
When when did you, because you guys are very different as human beings.
Yes.
And how did that happen?
I think when you meet somebody who is a genuine person, you tend to gravitate toward them. And so I got to know Tyvis when we were both recruits, and I got to know a bit of his story and his background. And I'm like, man, this guy's in it for the right reasons. So it just, the bond kind of creates from there, and then it just grows. Our families are all friends. Like Tyvis's wife and my wife they talk every day. They see each other all the time. We get the kids together. So it's awesome from that regard. However, we all know Tyvis is a habitual line stepper. He gets off of the navigational beacons every once in a while, and we got to direct him back to center.
He likes to fly close to the sun a little bit.
He does.
He likes to get burnt every once in a while.
It's a little dangerous.
Do we? So we got Snowmageddon?
I guess so.
I mean, that's where we're at.
You got your shovel? You
I
probably don't shovel. Yes.
But I've got it. What I do have is I have 2 of those hyper-powered electric blowers.
Okay.
And that works better. That works better than a shovel.
As long as it's not wet.
I don't.
True, but you just got to do it. As long as the real key to it, Bake, is you got to do it like every probably 30 minutes if it's falling heavily.
Oh, no.
You got to do it about every 35, 40 minutes, but then you never have to shovel. I just blow it off.
I don't shovel because it's effective. I shovel because it's my character, if that makes sense. Like I don't want to be
Rocky
the guy.
Balboa.
I don't want to be the guy who started doing media and all of a sudden I can't mow my own grass, I can't shovel my own driveway. So I got to remind myself every once in a while what it feels like to be a blue-collar dude. And since I have adapted other aspects of my life to be less blue-collar, I'm going to get out there when it's cold and get my shovel going.
All right. I pay guys for that. But listen, I'm out here to help the economy.
I'm too young to be paying people for that.
I know. Yeah, it's true. I'm an old man at this point. But I'm helping the economy.
It's good.
I will say this for you, JP, in your defense. If you did have somebody to do that, you're a busy dude. You got a lot of jobs, a lot of irons in the fire. So maybe time effective wise for you and cost effective, it's just easier to have someone do that because you're so busy. But we've talked about this before.
Yeah. There's
something therapeutic about shoveling snow to me. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But I have always enjoyed that. Now, you never know. We could be getting a big-time workout with shoveling snow this weekend because, Bo, I'm pretty sure I've heard we're getting anywhere from 2 inches to 2 feet this weekend. So, I have no clue what it's going to be, but...
We're waiting on the European models. Once we get the European models, then we'll have a better idea if we're going to get 2 inches or 24 inches. It's somewhere in that span. It could be anywhere in there. Just stay tuned to Channel 10. They're going to take care of you. The worst one I ever remember, I don't remember the year. My hunch was it would be sometime around 2009 or 10, and it was in March, and it postponed the state basketball tournaments. And you remember this, Bake?
I do.
You remember this, JP? You might have even been in high school at that time.
Yeah, I was.
Do you remember this?
I do.
And the state basketball tournaments were delayed. They had all of these teams in hotels, and the teams were just kind of running around in hotels. There was nothing they could do. They couldn't get to the arenas. I would say this is like 09 or 10, somewhere in there.
We were snowed in, and I think at one point during that storm too, because there was ice involved in this thing, the power went out.
It did.
It was one of those. I remember this vividly.
Yeah, I remember. I remember the ice from that one probably more than the snow. I believe we had like 2 or 3 years, maybe 2 of the 3 years we had. It was around the same time, an ice storm like identical two times there within a 2 or 3 year span. That was pretty bad.
Okay, I found it. God, I'm of all the I'm not great at much, but I'm a damn good Googler. And the Columbus Dispatch, it was March of 2008.
There we go.
March of 2008, 20.4 inches of snow on Columbus, setting the record for single-day storm. Previous record was 15. Yeah, it was March of 08.
08 was a rough year.
I had just gotten here.
08 was a rough year for many.
Yeah.
Some other things happened around 08.
Going on. Yeah, that's true.
Bo, this is one of the rare times where we're supposed to get more than you guys, correct? Because I believe Central Ohio is right on the line where, like, if this storm goes just a little bit north
Yeah.
we're going to get hammered, but if it stays a little south, we're going to be okay. So this is one of the rare occasions where we are in for it more than you up north.
It feels like that, but listen, the lake does crazy things. I'm a little bit away from that, obviously, but that does crazy things. It can do all sorts to you, so I'm in for it. It's funny, the boys were praying for a snow day again today. I'm like, dude, you just had one Monday. You go to school like twice a week. And so they were praying for it, didn't happen, and now they're banking on Sunday, and I'm like, I think it could be like all the way through by then, boys. So buckle in. You may actually have to go to a full 5-day school week for once, which would be rare for them.
What if this storm is just like a big pump fake? Like we get to tomorrow and we get to Sunday and, you get a little snow, maybe a few inches, but it's nowhere near the 12 inches that everybody's talking about.
It's very in play. I mean, Bake and I were talking that before the show. Like, I feel like more often than not, what you just described is what happens.
Yeah, I don't ever believe this until I see it. So I feel like the weathermen are like me back in the early 2000s lying at the bar about how many, so.
Before Google and phones, smartphones, you can say anything you wanted, Bake.
Absolutely.
Maple syrup conglomerate out of Vermont. You can do whatever you want. In those days, nothing's Googleable.
Little IPO.
There's nothing to see here. All right, so throughout the snow, if you are snowed in Sunday, you're going to have a lot of good stuff to check out, including the NFL, which has never been more popular. We will get into that. We will get into the Buckeye basketball team at Michigan tonight. Have a little fun along the way here on I guess it's still a Football Friday edition of the program. We'll continue. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Tri-State Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Tri-State Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations in the area to serve you in Hilliard and Westerville.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Now's the time to buy or renew your 2026 dog licenses. Not only are dog licenses required by law, but fees support the Franklin County Dog Shelter and Adoption Center. Buy or renew your dog licenses today at franklincountyauditor.com.
Your mornings are jam-packed. So if you're going to add anything, make it your favorite bite from Tim Hortons. Buy any size beverage and add a daily baked donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. It's the best way to add more to your morning. The 1-2-3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra. Exclusions and terms apply at timhortons.com/offer-terms.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify. When you're You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis. All the F words apply. Football, food, and fun, and fat, and furry. They both have beards. And they dress up like animals and hump things. T-Bone and Tyvis.
Weekday mornings at 6.
The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Hi, the Scott Antique Markets are back again at the Ohio Expo Center, featuring hundreds of vendors with collectibles and merchandise from all over the world. The market is one weekend monthly, November through March. Build your family heirlooms. You can find everything that gets old. Just take I-71 to exit 111 to enjoy America's favorite treasure hunt. Visit thescottantiquemarket.com for more information. Come join us at the Ohio Expo Center for the Scott Antique Markets. It's huge. It's the Scott Antique Markets this weekend.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny skies today and cold as temperatures fall throughout the day. The windy conditions getting below zero by later this afternoon. For tonight, partly cloudy with lows in the single digits. Feels like still below zero. And we will continue to have that wind chill below zero as we go into Saturday. Most of Saturday looks to be dry with mostly cloudy skies, with snow accumulation beginning late Saturday and going into your Sunday. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Are you working? Because we barely are. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football and quiet quitting. The Fan. The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
NFL Championship game weekend is here. 3 o'clock Sunday. Patriots at Broncos. Pat's a 5.5-point favorite out in Denver. Nance and Romo on the call in a game you can watch right here at Channel 10. And then Rams and Seahawks. Seahawks by 2.5 in a game you can watch on Fox. Those are both Sunday night. Those kick times are, in my opinion, perfection. I love 3 o'clock. I love 6:30. Love both of those. And so that's a win. The NFL has been really smart historically about making sure there's a lot of factors that have led to this incredible popularity that the NFL has enjoyed, and it just continues to get bigger and bigger in terms of the audience and the give a damn and all of it. And there's a billion factors to it. Chief among them, I think, is really it's the perfect television sport. The replays, the breaks, sometimes we complain about them on the college side of things, but on the NFL side of things, it's pretty economical when it comes to getting through a game, and all of that works. I think sports talk radio is a big part of it, and the boom of sports talk radio and now podcasts, where just like college football, you have one game a week. You can ruminate on what happened Monday, Tuesday, and start to look ahead to what's going to happen Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so it's in a constant dialogue sphere around the sports world. The calendar works. They now have something basically every month of the year that keeps them on top of mind year in and year out. So all of those things are factors. Another thing that is a factor and cannot be ignored is that the NFL owners, when it comes to their television packages, have put a premium, and this is going to sound odd because this is a group of humans that are incredibly greedy and incredibly addicted to making more and more money year over year. They have, over the last decade, left more money on the table to remain primarily on broadcast channels. Mm-hmm. And there's a value to that. Joshua, we talk about this all the time. There is still, I know it's trending the other way, and more people are streaming and they're apping and they're doing that stuff. But when you are on a network versus when you are streaming, you still get millions more viewers. And the NFL, to this point, while they have dipped their toe in an Amazon playoff game or a Netflix Christmas game or a Black Friday game on Amazon, their big ticket items have remained over the air and available to all. And I do think that is still a critical choice. I'm not sure how long they could continue to make it, but I think when you look at these numbers that came in even from this past weekend in the divisional round, when you're talking about 39.2 as the average of it, that is stunning. When you think about what happened Sunday night, 52.6 was the peak audience for Rams-Bears. 52.6 million. The Denver game against Buffalo peaked at 51.28 million. That is a Saturday afternoon game. That is, or was that one at night? No, that was at night. Yeah, that was middle of the night. It wasn't late night. The late night was the Seattle game. So those numbers are just stupefying. And I do wonder, because there's more money out there from YouTube, from Amazon, from Netflix. There's more money out there. How long will they stay loyal to this? And how important is this still in 2026 to still have these games available over the air?
I mean, I think they've told us where they value the importance of that. It is really intriguing. And I work for a network that also has a big streaming platform, and we put some of our college games on there, and we look at the internals, and it's not even close. Like, you could measure Ohio State when they're on NBC versus Ohio State when they're on Peacock, and certainly the matchups aren't nearly as strong for the Peacock games, but the internals tell you, like, people, they either don't know where to find them, they don't want to flip over there. It's hard to do the click over thing. It's hard to watch a couple games at a time on a Saturday in particular when one's on streaming. I think the NFL has figured out that people have viewing habits. They naturally gravitate toward the places where they've always seen games. And yeah, maybe there's a little bit more money out there, but the idea that you have the audience and the viewership and that you can tangibly see the interest in that it's growing, I think is more important to them than, it's not a few extra dollars, but a few extra dollars from going to a company that does primarily streaming.
Yeah.
Bo, I thought of two things when I was looking at stuff for this morning. The one thing I thought of was Jerry Jones and him pushing to get Fox involved in this, and how he kind of changed the game because CBS got pushed out for a while.
They did.
And then
that
CBS,
was a big deal.
And then CBS jumped back in, and NBC got pushed out for a little bit. And I think of Jerry like kind of starting these bidding wars on these NFL games and making these NFL owners realize how much money they could make with this. And then the other thing I think of, it takes me back to a conversation we had last week about that island where there's people on it that only people from that island have ever been. And
the Brazil,
they'll try to kill. They'll try to kill anybody else that tries to come onto this island.
Yeah,
we always look at things from a big city point of view because Columbus in Ohio is kind of a big. It's a big city. I think of areas like where your dad is out in Montana, or places in rural Midwest or whatever. They may not be adapted to the newer lifestyle, right, of cable and streaming and all of that. So you're getting a portion of the country where it may not be a huge population, but the only TV they know is antenna.
Absolutely. And the reality, like if I told my dad something was on Peacock, no chance. No chance he could get signed up for that. There's no chance that he could do it.
Peacock's just running out in the pasture.
Yeah. God, they're awful beasts. You ever encountered one?
I've seen them. Wild? I've never encountered, but I've seen them.
Ernie Thompson was a farmer neighbor where I grew up, and he and his wife loved the look of peacocks, and so they had some that they had relatively domesticated on their property, and we would go there and buy hay or pick up hay, whatever, and anytime you would go in that yard, those suckers would come at you like a missile. And they're tiny little birds, or relatively tiny little birds in the big bird scheme of things. But when the big feathers pop and you're like 10, that's a scene, man. That is a scene. You don't want any part of that. And they'll attack dogs. They don't care. Peacocks are lawless. But I think, look, this is another one. Holtman was right about this. He was dead right on this. I remember this. He talked about it publicly with us on the show, and I've talked about him a lot with it privately because he was the coach when this deal came in. And the one thing about this television deal that old boy who's running the Bears decided to put together, and in some ways it's really worked because the Big Ten has profited wildly from this. And I think it was really smart to be in 3 network windows. I think like what you guys do on NBC, that is elite. And the Big Ten's rise to that is only going to get better when you have more legitimate teams. Like what Indiana has done is huge for your partners with your employer at NBC. That's massive. It's massive for CBS, who has the afternoon window. It's massive for Big Noon, so those games can be spread out a little bit. But Oregon's ascent, USC, if they continue to ascend, if Penn State, okay, now we have more brands that people are talking about. But the one thing Holtman said was, I am concerned that our games, our games won't be seen. because college basketball, unless you're one of the diehards, for me at least, is something that when I turn on the television, my viewing habit is I turn on the television and I see what's on the sports channels. So I want to see what's on there. And that's my first thing I look at. Then I'll go to movies or whatever. But the first thing I look at if I'm trying to unwind is I see what's going on. Is there a game that I want to watch for 20 minutes or I want to see the conclusion of? And if you're not in that grid for me, a lot of times I forget you're on.
Yep.
And look, I'm an old man at this point. But at the same point, there are still a lot of us that are a lot even older than me that aren't wanting to go. And I hate the app experience. I hate it. I hate that I can't flip.
That's the
that
worst
I can't
part
bounce,
about it.
That I'm stuck in like an app prison, Joshua. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I do it like the way that I've gotten around it is like you put the laptop or the iPad on and you watch whatever's streaming on there, but nobody wants to watch the small screen. Like you got a smart TV like most of us do. It sucks to have to close one app to open the next one to try to go back and forth. It doesn't even make sense. I'm very similar in terms of the way that I sit down and I try to figure out what I'm going to watch. Like I'll open up YouTube TV and it'll have all my favorite things up there. And that means that I'm not watching Ohio State basketball on Peacock because it's just not even top of mind at that point.
Right. Yeah, there's a habitual thing that happens with it and you have to find it. So the way I get around it now is I have the 3 TV set up so that I can have what I'm watching primarily on the big, and then like on a college football Saturday, the 2 littles, I can have one in an app and do it that way. But
big
like
time guy, 3 TVs.
Dude, it was smart, dude.
I mean,
dude, you get that isn't like a bougie thing. You get a TV at Costco for $8.
I mean, you got
especially this month.
You got.
What do you want? You want a 90-incher for 126?
I mean, you got to have the wall space to put the TVs up. I mean, I'm just trying to imagine what the layout looks like. It's big time layout.
If somebody hypothetically had a device where all of these things were connected and you could maybe go quad box or 2 box, or maybe you wouldn't have to worry about this, but I'm just hypothetically.
Yes. My hunch is the NFL will continue to, at least for the foreseeable future, next decade or so. I think they're smart enough to stay in this world because all of this is just printing money long term for them.
For sure.
In every possible way. All right, coming up next. Speaking of prime time and speaking of network, the Buckeye basketball team on a very big stage tonight up in Ann Arbor. Can they get that signature win for this season for Jake Diebler? It's a tall task, obviously. We'll get to it in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Get Eco. Aaron, when we say same-day furnace installation, what does that mean exactly?
It means if you call us in the dead of winter because your furnace has died, we will install a new furnace the same day.
Get Eco. So by same day, you mean like the next day, but within 24 hours?
No, Jerry, the same day you call.
How can we do that? Do we really have furnace techs just sitting here waiting for emergency calls?
Yes.
And we have a whole warehouse full of different furnaces, so we'll have one ready to go no matter what you need?
Yes.
And we have extra trucks in the fleet, just parked and ready to be loaded at a moment's notice?
Yes.
How do we do that?
Jerry, how could we not do that? If your heat goes out in the middle of winter, that's an emergency. So we'll be there the day you call.
Get Eco. We should install a pole the guys can slide down, like firefighters.
No, Jerry, and please don't suggest that in front of the team.
Get Eco. GetEco.com.
There's no place in hockey where you'll find more passion, more pride, and more boom. Make some memories with the Columbus Dispatch Family Value Pack, presented by ABC6 and Fox 28 at BlueJackets.com/family.
Do you hate holiday pictures because of your teeth? What if a brand new smile was possible?
No matter what the current state of your mouth.
Welcome to Runyon Dental Group, home of the Implant and Smile Center,
where gorgeous, healthy smiles become a reality.
At Runyon, we've built a team of some of the most highly trained arch and implant doctors in the entire nation. This isn't an ordinary dental practice.
We believe that everyone can have a great smile,
including you, especially you. Your new smile is waiting at Runyon Dental Group.
Day 1, the hardest day. The day you hear,
this is a type of blood cancer.
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
All right, here's what's up on a Football Friday edition of the program. big-time basketball tonight up in Ann Arbor. Buckeyes at Michigan in prime time on Fox. I love this. I love it. I love the stage. I think Friday night 8, I'm an old man at this point. I'm not going out. I'm not out back when I was banging on Friday night getting stuff done. None of that's happening. So I'm winding down on a Friday, and this is perfect. I watched Kansas, Iowa State, I want to say 2 weeks ago. It was awesome. I love that Fox is doing this. I love that Ohio State gets this very, very big stage. Obviously, the opponent is robust, and Michigan is a 15.5-point favorite in this game. This Michigan team is certainly one that can win a national championship, and they're heavy favorites tonight. Ohio State not shrinking from this at all. Colin White... Hell of a quote here. We hate Michigan, so we're coming out for blood. We're going to go up there to win, and we're going to have fun doing it. First of all, there's going to be people who come at him for this. Not going to be me. Like, I love that. Like, we want our athletes to tell it like it is and be honest and all those things. It's like we want that until we're offended by what they say.
No doubt.
And then we want to attack it. Like, good for him. Own it. Like, what do you want him to say? That he's going to go up there and just hope to try their best?
We're going to try hard.
Say something like this. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's I'm big on you can't get mad when you want athletes to be their real selves, and then they do. So I'm here for it. Also, I'm a big don't give them bulletin board material, especially when they're a much better team. So like I'm on both sides of this, unfortunately, but. Talk your talk. Like, if that's how you really feel, I'm here for you saying how you really feel.
The same, JP. I don't want to give them any bulletin board material. And if this was Bruce, like, I'm more for it.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Dude, you just had 19 minutes, which is like the best of your college career ever. Maybe calm down a little bit. But I also get, like, he from Ottawa Glandorf. Up near Toledo, he lived right in the middle of this Ohio State-Michigan battle. So I do understand it from his point. He probably gets a lot of stuff from people back home.
Yeah, and we don't have any idea, like, what type of place he holds on the Buckeye roster. Like, is he someone who's really vocal all the time in practice? Is he somebody who's, vocal amongst his teammates and has developed into a bit of a leader? Like, we don't know that. We're not at practice every day. We don't know that. It's a massive one for Jake. Massive.
Huge.
This is one of those ones where if you spring this upset, it'd be considerable. As I mentioned, 15.5. If you spring it, it's one of those ones when we're talking about bubble and all of that, that's in the great wins in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Great win if they can pull it off. Now, massive test, obviously. Here's Jake on Michigan and what it means tonight.
Yeah, listen, this is a game that obviously we all are really excited for. And, I think for us, it's a game that should be played twice a year. I'm glad the Big Ten did that, and it should be that way always and forever. So we're really excited about the opportunity. They're playing really well. But, we're doing some really good things, too, and we're going to go up there and give it our absolute best, and we are going to prepare our absolute best for this game. And this game means more. Like, yes, it counts as much on your Big Ten record as other games, but make no mistake, it's this way, I would imagine, in every single sport. This game means a little bit more, but we got to prepare like we've been preparing. We can't get caught up on anything other than just being as mentally, physically prepared that we can possibly be.
So I understand. I've been here since 2007. From a basketball perspective, I never felt like Michigan. Like, it doesn't feel like football to me.
Agreed.
To me, I would put Michigan, Ohio State basketball in my time here, my experiences. I would put Michigan, Ohio State basketball in the same realm as Ohio State, Michigan State basketball, Indiana. And honestly, for me, like when I was covering it every single day from 2007 to 15, Wisconsin.
Sure.
Like, I hated Bo Ryan. I couldn't stand him. I mean, those games were classic games. I understand what they're trying to do here, and you guys both grew up here, and obviously, Joshua, you played in the greatest game that you could play when you play in that game. So you have that experience. Where does the sell of Ohio State, Michigan basketball meaning more hit for you?
I think it has to, because it's Ohio State and it's Michigan. I think especially where Ohio State is right now as a program and what they're trying to build to, and where Michigan currently is at, I think that's a big part of it. I think if both of these teams were great, it would feel even better. But Ohio State basketball in this era with Diebler, I think, is going to be compared to Dusty May, whether it's fair or not, because a lot of people are going to say that's the guy that we could have gone and pursued and had as our head coach. So for a lot of other reasons, just besides it's Ohio State and Michigan, I do think it matters a little bit more, particularly for the guys currently on the roster.
It's a good point on the May part. They're always going to be linked.
And I don't even know if that's fair to Jake.
I don't think it's fair,
frankly,
but it's just the reality.
But they are going to. So, Bo, you know Ohio State basketball used to be what I lived and died with growing up. And those Jimmy Jackson teams are still number one in my heart of any sports teams, probably, except for maybe the 2019 Blue Jackets. They're right there with that. But it always felt like Indiana was your rival back then when those teams were around. And then the Fab Five came along and they got you in the tournament in Jimmy Jackson's last year in an upset. And then the Fab Five took over and Ohio State basketball went downhill.
Yeah.
And then when Ohio State came back up, it did seem like Indiana was there a little bit, but that was right around the time Izzo got to Michigan State. So it was always Michigan State. That was a huge game. And then Wisconsin, some great games between those two, a couple 1-versus-2 games.
Yeah.
So it never seems like Ohio State and Michigan, while it still is a rivalry, and it meant a lot when Jake beat them a couple years ago, or it was a really close game. I don't remember exactly how it went. It's never been the same. It doesn't have the same feel as football.
Well, I think you just illustrated why, though, Bake. Because unlike in football, where for the most part, for 100 years, they've both been really good at the same times.
Right.
For the most part. We don't have that in hoops with the two of them. You mentioned the Jimmy versus Fab Five. That's 1 year. That's only the 1 year. And then when, the other thing, like when Beeline got it going with Columbus's own Trey Burke, when that was happening, that was when Thad started to slip a little bit.
Yep.
So we don't have number 2 versus number 6. Like we had that with Thad, with Michigan State. I mean, who can forget the games they played when Jared was a freshman and Draymond was a senior? I mean, those games were unbelievable. Michigan State, Ohio State. And then Ohio State, Wisconsin as well. So I think that's it. I think you hit it, Bake. They just haven't both been great at the same time. And so, yeah, you see the colors and it clashes. And by the way, I'd love nothing more than if Michigan were in their yellow tonight and Ohio State was in the scarlet Jimmy J's. Like, sign me up. Book that. That is perfect. Wear those.
Every Ohio State-Michigan matchup in any sport should be color.
It'd be great in football.
Got to be so good.
USC and UCLA does it.
Yeah, they do.
Color TV or black and white TV ruined it for all of us.
I mean, that thing would be just gorgeous. I don't think they would. Maybe now that Whittingham's up there could be like an adult dialogue between the two, since they have an adult up there running the program. Maybe you could, like, hey, what do you think about doing this?
Have Urban be the
mediator.
Yeah, the mediator, the go-between guy.
Talks to both coaches every day. Why not?
I mean, Whittingham coached in a rivalry where they did that. Utah BYU. So
you're right, they did, and it looked awesome.
It looks phenomenal. It looks great.
There might be an olive branch there. Whittingham, it's going to be interesting. I mean, we'll hate him because of the color that he's going to be in, but he's a really likable dude.
I've thought about this with Whittingham, and I don't foresee it happening, but wouldn't it be crazy for just his story as a coach if he goes there and is a flop? Like, legendary career at Utah, and then just is a fish out of water in Ann Arbor and flops.
It happened with Rich, who was a really good coach up until that point and was fish out of water, and nobody endorsed him and nobody got behind him. It feels like everyone's behind Whittingham.
I think they have to be.
They have to be. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty desperate. So I think you're right. I think they have to be. That would be something. There's not a whole lot of examples of that, of guys who have great and then fall on their face. There are a couple. I mean, Belichick's doing it, but that's NFL to college.
Right.
There's not a ton of that. One other thing I want to run by you guys, and we're in this era where everyone's trying to find money, right? Everyone's looking, especially college programs, they're trying to find money. So I saw Ohio State basketball put images up yesterday of them getting on a plane to fly to Ann Arbor yesterday. At some point, will we have to rethink all of that as we're trying to pay football, and you're trying to make all of this. I mean, you guys bus there for the football games.
Well, they flew this year.
But normally you bus.
Yes, that was a bus. Yes.
Yeah.
We used to bus to like Indiana and Purdue early on.
Yeah. And obviously football, it's so much more expensive. It's multiple planes, it's equipment, it's all that stuff. But I mean, you're still taking a charter, you know. They're not going to Port Columbus to fly up there.
I don't think they can do it. I don't think they can. Once they started doing that, I don't think they can get away from it, because now you're going to be like, are you guys really going to go to that place where they won't even pay for you to get on a charter? Like, you got to sit in a bus and eat a box lunch on a bus?
I don't think it's going to be just in Ohio State. My thing is, we're about ready to run out of money.
Well,
and we need to rethink, I think, how we do all of this. And one thing that has always been an issue, and you go to 36 sports with Ohio State and everything else, like, can you really afford, and basketball is a revenue sport, so it's a little different.
I hate
but
this
can you really
conversation.
afford to treat
I hate it.
field hockey or baseball or softball or lacrosse? Can they really have the same experience as football?
They can't.
When you're paying for it.
It's unfortunate. And this, I think, leads to a bigger conversation about what does an athletic department with 36 varsity sports end up doing with all that. And I hate the conversation, because I appreciate what has gone on for those athletes. But it's all a valid question to ask. Like, when you start looking at budgets and you start to make cuts, like you're trying to avoid the cuts to the sports that are making you money. So certainly you feel like the other sports are going to have to wear that, which is really unfortunate. My mentality, and this is a foolish mentality toward the things, but you know, I was a salesman once upon a time in my life. I sold real estate, and you're never running out of money. You're just not selling enough, right? Just like go out and make more money.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're trying to tap every avenue to do that as well. But yeah, I mean, I get your point. I don't know if they could get away with doing it if that's not a thing that everybody's getting ready to do.
My thing is, I think it's going to be something that everybody's going to have to do, except for the ones who think basketball is most important. And it's not basketball will be the last thing. I mean, it's just a jumping off point into it. But you can't cry poor to your fans and beg for donations while coaches and administration keep making more and more and more, and you're paying for all this stuff. Like, people look around and go, wait a second, like, is that necessary? Like, those questions are ones that Ross is going to have to answer in the coming years, because at some point you're going to have to pay football salary.
Right.
And that's going to change a lot of things.
Yeah.
We'll continue with this. Take a look at the night in sports coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but whew, you've accepted that. The Fan.
Matty Ice here. It's a new year, so why not start it off with a new car from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion, where the savings are rolling all month long. You can lease a brand new 26 Chevy Equinox LT for just $279 a month for 36 months with $3,369 due at signing, or if financing is more your style, grab it for only $399 a month for 96 months with $1,000 due at signing. Terms and restrictions apply. They're just off Route 23095 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Winters can be brutal here in the Columbus area, and if you're cold in your home with the heat running constantly, it's probably your old, inefficient windows that are the problem. The good news is that Window Nation can help you get through this season, because in the last 20 years, they've installed over 3 million energy-efficient windows nationally, and they're trusted by thousands of Columbus homeowners to keep their homes comfy and cozy year-round, while also saving them money on monthly utility bills. And right now, they're more affordable during the Window Nation Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale. It's a great time to replace all the windows in your home. Plus, you could get your windows with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. You'll be surprised by the dramatic difference new windows will make. Your home will be better protected against the weather, feel warm and dry, and you'll love the lower utility bills. The pros at Window Nation will guide you every step of the way. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Save big with Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 sale going on now. The sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com right now. Window Nation, a proud partner of Ohio State Athletics.
Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow. Saturday, August 1st at Paycor Stadium with special guests Lainey Wilson and Alan Stone. Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why our agents work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service. Satisfied customers and a plan for you. Isn't it time to check Shelter out? Find an agent near you at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thidoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
You know what hope is? Hope is action, carving a path forward even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them, safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
My friend, Mr. Perry, you are still the holder of a record, my man, and that record dates back to January of 2015. The numbers are in. Indiana's 27-21 victory over Miami, 30.1 million viewers. According to Nielsen, it's the second most watched college football title game and cable telecast on record. Your victory over Oregon in January of 2015 still has a record 33.9er on that one. This one this year was actually about 8 million more than the one last year from a number standpoint. So not sure what to attribute that to, but obviously a great deal of interest in it. I'm in the X platform. This is an actual headline. I'm going to read this directly. It's on it right now. I don't know how this thing's working now because it's for me or whatever, but like on the right side, they have like what's happening. And this is a headline. And it says, I'm going to read it word for word. Indiana Hoosiers win first national title in stunning 27-21 upset of Miami.
Upset.
They were 7.5-point favorites.
I mean, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
Nobody picked Miami, did they? Maybe the game day guys did.
All the game day guys did.
Did they really?
Maybe I don't know
all
if
of us were
McAfee did, but I know Saban did for sure. And Dez has been riding Miami hard all postseason.
He lives down there or something?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
but how does that get to be written? And no one's going, well, that's not right. It's not an upset in any way.
It's an upset because of what Indiana is, no doubt. And it's the word upset in the word Cinderella, honestly, describing this team, I feel like are so inaccurate. And yeah. I get where they're coming from. It is lazy. It's the number one team in the country by the time we got there. And they had been that way all postseason. They throttled Alabama. They throttled Oregon, right? Like it's not I don't get it. I really don't get it, but
it's the helmet.
So
we see the IU on the helmet, and I had to do the mea culpa back in November.
I know.
I had to. I mean, I had to say, like, it's on me. Like, I see that helmet, I don't take it seriously. And then from that point on, I did. Obviously, I thought Ohio State would beat them when they played them in the Big Ten Championship. I thought that they would. They didn't. But from that point on, I wasn't picking them to lose to anybody. I'd seen enough. The way they played in the lines of scrimmage against Ohio State's all I needed to see.
Bo, remember before the Alabama game, I said if you switched the jerseys, what would the line be? And at the time, it was 7.5, and I think we were all like, well, it'd be 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Yeah, 13.5. Somewhere in there.
Let me give you this on the Ohio State Notre Dame championship. That was the day of Trump's second inauguration.
You're right.
And so I think there were probably a lot of people that were tuned into Fox or CNN or MSNBC for coverage of that all day long rather than watching a one-off college football game that happened to be on a Monday in January, which is a problem.
It's a great point out of you because all of those things factor in, and we're pulled in more ways than ever in terms of where our attention span is. I think, obviously, ratings are always good when it's cold, too.
Yeah.
In certain parts of the country because people are watching television. So, but that's a big-time number to be able to deliver that. So despite everything that is wrong in the sport, people are still turning in droves. We had a 1-0 hockey game last night. Bake, were you in attendance?
I sure was. It was interesting. A lot of people will see 1-0, and they'll be like, well, that's not very fun.
Yeah.
That was a fun hockey game last night. That was an exciting game. It was 100 times the hockey game that they had with Ottawa on Tuesday. It was, and two things can be true. Like, it was wide open, and both teams were going back and forth, and it was a fast-paced game. But both teams were also playing well defensively and limiting shots and keeping people from in front of their goaltender and making teams shoot the puck from the outside. That's exemplified when the Jackets were down a man late. I think the Stars pulled their goalie with just over 3 minutes left, and they were just around the perimeter in their offensive zone. They couldn't get inside. They couldn't get anything near Jet. And if they did, Jet was just spectacular last night.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable game out of him. What did you make? I see that Kent Johnson's back to the low minutes. Just 11 on ice last night. Like, at some point, that's really, when I think of the story of this season, that's top of the list for me. On a guy who we just assume, and you always point this out, Bake, we just assumed that he was going to stack off of what he did last year. I mean, he should. The pedigree's there. He's the 5th pick in the draft. He's 23 years old. He's just entering his prime. You should stack off of what happened last year. And for whatever reason, he just cannot get right. This is a guy who had 24 goals last season. I mean, hell, he had 16 goals 3 years ago. He's got 5.
I will say this, Bo, and I usually notice stuff like that. I did not notice that last night with Kent Johnson. I think they were just trying to roll 4 lines. Maybe it was just the flow of that game. I guess I didn't notice that. The one thing I did notice, though, Adam Fantilli was on the penalty kill last night, and we haven't seen a lot of that. And Adam's face-offs have been getting better and better as the year has gone on. He's up over 50% now on the season, and early on in the year, he was down in the 40%. And Rick Bowness, after the game, said, Fantilli, it's good to see him out there, and he needs to be out there defensively for his growth, but he said he was out there because his faceoffs were so good that they had to have him out there to win the puck on those in those areas where they were shorthanded.
Your stars got to be stars. And whatever growth we thought this team was going to have, it was going to be predicated on those stars being stars. And that's whatever this season ends up being, whatever it is when we get to the break after the Olympics, it's going to be the next couple of weeks are going to determine that. Go ahead real quick.
2 stats real quick. That was only in 25 seasons. That's the 15th time, just the 15th time that the Jackets have won a 1-0 game in their history. So those don't happen a lot. Another thing with Jet Greaves, how good he was last night. For any goaltenders that have made 50-plus starts, this is from Aaron Portzline, in the Blue Jackets' history, the only goaltender with better numbers than Jet Greaves, Sergei Bobrovsky.
Well, he won the Vezina a couple times, so that's pretty
Twice.
good. Yeah. All right, coming up next, the college football playoff. We know what it's going to look like next year. We'll give you the details on that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. no mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
It may be winter outside, but inside the Ohio Expo Center, it's golf season. The Columbus Golf Show is back for 3 days only, January 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Save up to 70% on golf equipment, accessories, and apparel, even vacation packages. Test the newest clubs, compete in skills competitions for great prizes, and get a free lesson from a PGA pro. Come tee it up indoors this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center, January 23rd, 24th, and 25th. For tickets, go to columbusgolfshow.com.
BMI Federal Credit Union has been voted Best Credit Union for the past 8 years in a row. With personalized service and excellent products, BMI FCU is ready to help with all your banking needs. Visit bmifcu.org to open an account today.
Disasters strike, fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. Direct Relief delivers. No politics, no red tape. Direct Relief is a lifeline to people in crisis. So check them out at directrelief.org. And if you can, donate.
Our double hung is as good as it gets. There's something really simple. It's called an interlock. We interlock our windows. The interlock is the absolute best way to alleviate air infiltration. With the interlock, it's harder to break into. When you interlock the sashes, it makes a better window. It's just a darn good window, and we're very proud of it.
Call Rizzotti today at 777-4806.
We got a higher home appraisal after we put away our African art and family photos.
Has this happened to you because of race or national origin? Contact HUD at hud.gov/fair housing. A message from HUD and the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, it's Anthony. Big savings right now with my friends at your main Honda of Dublin. Boy, it's the perfect time to upgrade your ride. You can lease a new Honda for as low as $199 a month, or definitely take advantage of rates as low as 0% financing on select models. Rich will even give you an additional $1,000 for your trade, even if you don't buy a Honda today. They have more than 400 new Hondas in stock, and the deals are the best around. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270, or online at germainhondaofdublin.com.
Your mornings are jam-packed. So if you're going to add anything, make it your favorite bite from Tim Hortons. Buy any size beverage and add a daily baked donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. It's the best way to add more to your morning. The 1-2-3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra. Exclusions and terms apply at timhortons.com/offer-terms.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on the team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people.
Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
You can save big on select varieties of Kroger cheese. 6 to 8 ounce packs are just $1.79 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Ryan Baker. Pete Thamel and others are reporting that the college football playoff will remain at 12 teams for the 2026 season, and a formal announcement is expected later today. That bonus bump, it didn't go anywhere. The Columbus Blue Jackets got a goal from Zach Werenski and 28 saves from Jet Greaves. They beat the Dallas Stars 1-0 last night in Charlie Coyle's 1,000th game. The Jackets back at home Saturday night at 7 when they host the Tampa Bay Lightning. The 12th-ranked Ohio State women's basketball team has won 7 straight. They beat Indiana at the shot 81-67 last night. Jelani Cambridge led the way with 22, and a big matchup for the men's team tonight as they travel to Ann Arbor to face number 3 Michigan at 8. Pre-game coverage on The Fan gets underway at 7. This one brought to you by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, or whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, Bake just mentioned it there. Second hour of the program. Tim May coming up in about 29 minutes, but we begin here. The college football playoff is going to stay at 12 teams for the 2026 season. Widely reported by all of the people who would be reporting these type of things. The move is happening, and it's staying at 12 because of the, quite honestly, a stalemate between the Big Ten and the SEC, who are the two bosses of the operation, although the Big Ten probably should have a little bit more weight, considering how the last 3 years have gone. Yeah. Nevertheless, the two of them are the gatekeepers of the sport, and they can't come up with an agreement on this thing. I'm Team Big Ten on everything except this. I know why the Big Ten wants a 24-team model. I get it. They wanted to go to 24 next year. The SEC and the other 8 conferences, along with Notre Dame, want a 16-team playoff. The Big Ten wants 24 because they want more inventory to sell, because they have more teams that they'd like to see get in these things, and everybody understands the finances of it. I don't understand 24 at all. I don't like, to me, 8 probably is still perfect, truly. If it was the best 8, that's probably perfect. If you want to go to 16 and get rid of conference championship games as part of that process, then I'm good with that. But a 24-teamer, I don't like anything where there are buys involved.
Okay.
Everybody plays. And so 1 versus 16, 2 versus, very simple. I'm a bracket guy. Show me a bracket. I don't need to give people buys. Nobody needs a buy. Just play every weekend, and everybody plays every week until you get a championship. If you want to take some time off around the holidays, fine. Take a week off, cool. But this thing should be wrapped up 2 weeks ago, and you could do that with a 16-team playoff pretty easily. I've laid it out a bunch of times. I don't get the 24. Do you get the 24?
So it's an interesting thing. I think basically reading the tea leaves of what's gone on here. In the Big Ten and the SEC were the only 2 conferences that had to agree on a new model moving forward. They were the decision makers. Like that's it for people who are wondering about what everybody else has to say. It seems to me that the idea for the Big Ten is we like 12 and we like 24, but we don't like 16 very much. And I think part of the reason why is because of basically we're still using a selection committee. They like those SEC teams that are kind of that, 8 to 16. A bunch of teams are in there. And for the Big Ten, it doesn't feel like they would have had more teams in the field if they moved to a 16-team model, especially if they wanted to go with the at-large model that the SEC liked, which, again, the other conferences are stupid for even liking a model that is at large because they would have been boxed out. Like Big 12, that doesn't help you. The ACC, it really doesn't help you to go with the model like that. It's neither here nor there. I think the Big 10 says if we get to 24, that's where more of our teams would be available to be in the bracket because you guys kind of like us more from 17 to 25 than you do from maybe 8 to 16. So the Big 10 has made it pretty clear in my mind that 12 teams are okay with, because they feel like they can get decent amount of teams into the field. They feel like they can be very competitive. Obviously, have won the last 3. But if they're going to expand, they have to expand it to a place where the selection committee would put more of their teams in. And I don't think 16's really getting it done for the Big Ten in that case.
I think that's short-sighted, though, buddy.
It might be, but I think that's the way they're thinking.
It might be. If it is, I think that's a mistake because I think if that's the case, first of all, it's a defeatist attitude. that's saying we don't believe that you respect us enough to have enough teams in the 16.
The Big Ten has won the last 3, and people still talk about the SEC as if it's the king of college football. People
They're serious people, though.
No, they're the people on the committee. They love Texas. I don't think, like, Texas by the end of the year, maybe Arch is playing a little bit better. That was a bad defense by the end of the year. They weren't a good team. They loved Vanderbilt, and then we watched what Iowa did to them, right? Like, Iowa's better than Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt would have been in a 16-team field, and that's what the Big Ten's seeing right now.
I think we talked about that a little bit with the final AP poll, too, with Alabama being 7 spots higher
than
Didn't they move
Iowa
up
with the 4 losses.
in the AP after losing in the playoffs? I think that might have been the case. I think they might have been.
I think that's just lazy.
I think it was after the SEC championship game. I don't know if it was after
I think
the playoffs,
they're ranking.
They're ranked 9 right now.
Yeah,
I don't know what
I think they
were
might have
in the
been
final
10
AP poll.
in the final AP, which is insane.
Let me see let's see if they actually
could look
moved
it up.
So I got it right here. So week 16, Bama was 9, so they just stayed.
Okay.
They just stayed where they
were. It's asinine. And that's part of the problem.
Bo, I'm going to, and I don't think this is the case, but if it is, I'm going to give Tony Petitti a little bit of credit here. And like I said, I don't believe this is the case. I believe the Big Ten wants 24 because they want more money. They want more teams in the college football playoff. They want a bigger TV contract. They want more inventory, as we've talked about. But what if Tony Petitti looked ahead and said, we realize that Ohio State isn't going to be able to have 6 4- and 5-star wide receivers anymore because of the way this is going, and that Michigan isn't going to be able to have a 3-deep on their defensive line like they have in the past. We realize that our teams moving forward aren't going to be undefeated anymore. They're going to have 1 or 2 or maybe 3 losses. And maybe they realize that college football, which has already probably got more parity than it's ever had in our lifetimes, is going to get even more parity moving forward because you're not going to be able to stockpile talent. You're not going to be able to develop talent really anymore because guys are leaving. And maybe they said, we want to get 24 because we know this sport is getting more and more on a level playing field as far as the talent being dispersed.
Sure.
Which means, because he said it, he said the word, our 8-4 team.
He said it, yeah.
So maybe they're looking at a world where 8-4 teams are going to get in this thing because they're just as good as an 11-2 team.
That's fine, but everything that you just said, you could also apply to the SEC.
Right.
You could apply that to anybody because what is going to happen and what's already happened. I mean, the Big Ten's won the last 3 national titles. You've heard the dialogue from Saban. You've heard it from Feinbaum. Like, they know that they cannot compete with the massive universities and the massive infrastructure that's up here, the dollars that are up here as a conference. Texas A&M can. There are some that can. Texas can. Oklahoma can. There's some in their league that have industry, that have oil money, that can hang. Auburn, people don't realize, Auburn's got a lot of money. LSU's got a ton of money. Those programs can hang. Bama can't. Florida can't. There's a lot of them that don't have that type of money. So I guess my point is to me, the situation of worrying about the way that your teams are perceived in 2024 and 5 is not the way your teams are going to be perceived, I think, even in 2026.
I don't know, man.
You're already seeing it. If you look at the preseason polls for next year, like the way too early top 25s, a lot of people have Indiana number 1.
Right.
It's a complete roster flip at Indiana.
I think
who watched the Hoover kid play at TCU to know that he can be good? He's not Mendoza coming in.
I think we've gotten to the point where we're all comfortable saying that the top of the sport is the Big Ten. But everybody was saying it this year, and I did not necessarily agree with this take that, oh, yeah, well, the Big Ten's got the top teams, but the SEC is just far deeper. I don't buy that. But I think that's where you're filling out most of the bracket is with those teams that are kind of like, okay, you got a couple losses, maybe you got 3 losses, whatever the case is. Everybody prefers a 3-loss SEC team to a 3-loss Big Ten team. Everybody does. It's just the way that it's been. And I think that thought process is ingrained. So as long as this is a selection committee-based model, I think the idea is we have to get to 24 so we can capture all of our teams that are the same record as the rest of the teams, but they just don't respect them as much because they still think that conference is deeper, or we keep it where it's at because we know our top teams can compete either way.
What if we took the subjectiveness out of it? What if there was a system
I would
used
love
a
that.
combination of polls and strength of schedule and
Go back to
quality
the old
wins and
BCS.
losses?
Yeah.
What if there was a system that existed that took the subjectiveness out of it, or at least limited its power? Wouldn't that be something if we had something like that?
It would be great.
What if there was a show that's been pushing that for a long time?
Come on, that's pretty easy.
Can I jump in with one other thing? Because you said something that really stood out to me. You're like, Feinbaum has said it. Saban has said it in terms of what the Big Ten is right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the one person who hasn't said it is Tony Petitti. And it's
Well,
such
he don't say anything.
No, it's the way he operates is so intriguing to me. And it's like a lot of these guys who come from a professional background where everything is leaks and everything is ideas that they put out so they can see how people feel about them. But they never actually sit in front of a microphone or sit down with the reporter on the record and say anything. And I think if there was a time for Tony Petitti to sit down in a formal setting or to even hop on Twitter, right now would be the time.
But it's been the last year.
You're the
He
guy.
should have been doing it for the last year.
Yeah.
And you want to know why people on that committee legitimize Ole Miss or Vanderbilt? A big reason they do it is because the SEC and Greg Sankey tell you it is so. And if they tell you
all the
enough
time
that it's so, think about it. Their media days are in Destin on Memorial Day weekend. Now, have you been to Destin?
Yes.
Okay, it's great. So they invite the entire country to come to their media days for what essentially is an extended vacation to cover their teams, and all their coaches talk, and their commissioners on the dais with Feinbaum, and he talks to anybody who will talk. And then they do SEC media days in Hoover, Alabama, and they do it after the All-Star game. After the Major League Baseball All-Star game. So all of the media, when we're looking for anything, everybody descends and they tell you how great their teams are.
Yep.
Last year, the Big Ten Media Day was in early May, and it was done either in Los Angeles or Las Vegas.
It's Vegas.
Vegas. Year before it was in L.A. I said, did this happen? Oh, yeah, it happened, but nobody talked. And then their media days are right as NFL training camps are opening up, usually in Chicago. And so it doesn't get seen. Like, this is agenda setting at the highest level,
100%
and it's marketing at the highest level, and we buy into it because of how effective they are. And they had that 3:30 CBS kick time, national television for 25 years, and saying this is the best football game of the week. And we believed it because for 25 years, we were told it.
People
and in
are
some
still
instances,
believing
they
that,
were.
by the way.
Some instances they were. Right, because it takes a long time to break habits.
Yes. And you can look at the viewership, too, which is insane. But, like, people still have that habit of, like, whatever the big game is in the SEC.
Well,
and
that goes to playing the hits, though.
It does.
When we expanded the conference, we didn't play Oregon and USC.
No,
that's a fail.
It bothers me so badly because all this is, the agenda setting is the perfect way to put it. When Greg Sankey was like, oh, we should have 9 teams in the college football playoff. No. And I wish somebody in a position of power, instead of me screaming into this microphone right now, would have been like, you're crazy. And
That's
nobody
Petitti.
should believe that.
That's what Petitti should be doing.
By the way, as we're talking about this, I'm scrolling Twitter, and 10 minutes ago, Awful Announcing has a post where Booger McFarland is saying the SEC is still the best conference in America.
That's the problem. And I'll say this,
And he's an
too.
LSU guy.
But
so that's what he's going to say.
This is one of the biggest issues I have, and I wish in whatever iteration of the playoff we get into the future, they need to divvy up the playoff inventory among different networks, because the ESPN basically employs all SEC and ACC voices outside of like Herb Street and Dez and Joey Galloway, who have been there for a very long time. And so you get all of these guys who are just going to stump for the conference that they played in, and that's where you have to go to watch the postseason. And they're the network that has all of the studio content during the week. NBC's not incentivized to have a college football studio show because they get one game a week. Right. And so I think that's a part of it, too, is you get guys like Booger, who I respect, but that's a crazy take. But he says it, and he has one of the biggest platforms on earth to say it. And they're the ones who are in charge of the postseason. They do the selection show every week. They have all of the playoff games. And that, to me, is also a problem. You just don't have enough media that's invested in what's going on for the college football playoff.
Everything that we're talking about right now would be fixed if there was one boss, like an NFL commissioner, over all of it.
Yeah.
That would solve it. But again, look to the NFL. There are your solutions to all of this. Can the Buckeyes be contending for that championship next year? You bet they can. Two big interesting questions out there and some comments from Albert Breer on Morning Juice on Matt Patricia. We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, loans and no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Hi, this is Mike with the Good Feet Store. Are your bad feet making work miserable? You're not alone. Here's Val, a real Good Feet Store customer.
I'm a salesman. I've pounded the pavement 35 years, literally. My legs ached, my feet hurt. It was just sometimes unbearable. But if you don't have a good attitude when you're in sales, it shows on your face. I heard an advertisement on the radio for the Good Feet Store, and I said, what can I lose?
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Val get back to doing what they love without their feet getting in the way.
I walked in the Good Feet Store and I said, my feet hurt. What a difference with these arch supports. When I go and talk to my customers, I've got a smile on my face. I can go all day long, and then some. It's the real deal. My name's Val, and that's my Good Feet story.
Don't let bad feet stop you from achieving your 2026 health goals. Visit the Good Feet Store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no! Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny skies today and cold as temperatures fall throughout the day. The windy conditions getting below zero by later this afternoon. For tonight, partly cloudy with lows in the single digits. Feels like still below zero. And we will continue to have that wind chill below zero as we go into Saturday. Most of Saturday looks to be dry with mostly cloudy skies, with snow accumulation beginning late Saturday and going into your Sunday. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Let's see. High school, Buckeyes, Browns, kids in the retention pond. It must be Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Football is good. The Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is. We're proudly brought to you and sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for nearly 80 years. Two locations to serve you, Sawmill and Easton. They will take care of you, I assure you of that. Bake, you picked up something else in this new old playoff model. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I believe Ross Dellinger had this first. So they're going to remain at 12, but the format is going to change slightly. So it says here that the says that it changes slightly with P4 champions being granted automatic bids and Notre Dame if in the top 12. So what I'm getting from this is the Notre Dame part this year would have taken out James Madison. You would have lost your second group of 5 or whatever it is player in there. Notre Dame would have been in because they were ranked in the top 12. The other thing I'm getting from this is that Duke would have been in this thing this year because they won the ACC. Now, they didn't get in because, what was it? Was it Memphis or I don't remember. James Madison and
Tulane.
So
yep.
James Madison and Tulane were conference champions,
and but
they were ranked ahead of Duke. So it's just said before the first 4 highest rated conference champions. So in that scenario, to me, Bo, and I brought this up 2 or 3 weeks before it happened, Miami wasn't getting in this thing because they put Miami in to give the ACC a bone, I think, because Duke didn't get in.
Of course, yeah.
So Duke would have been in this playoff then this year. So they're trying to get the group of 5 out, but you still would have had a crummy Duke team in there this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only thing I can think of with that is there must be a corresponding move with the ACC in terms of how they determine who plays in their champion. Because the reason that Duke played in that championship, it came down to, I believe it was strength of schedule or common opponent strength of schedule.
Yeah.
If the ACC just goes highest ranked CFP teams, because they have so many teams in their league, they may all have same record. I think that might solve that. So what you need is the ACC to have a corresponding move to change the way, really all conferences need to have a corresponding move to determine who gets to play in your conference championship game. You need your tiebreakers much cleaner to avoid the Duke situation. So that corresponding move, though, has to happen. Otherwise, that's ridiculous.
I know a lot of the group of 5 conferences had moved their tiebreakers to the highest ranked team in the college football playoff rankings, which is a smart thing to do. The ACC last year, I think it might have been 5 or 6 teams that were tied at 6-2 conference records. So I saw the tiebreaker sheet. They were like Sports Source analytics were involved. I'm not exaggerating with how they were picking it. Here's the wild thing about their tiebreakers for this year. There are some teams that are going to play more conference games than others. I think 12 of them are playing like 8 conference games, and then 5 of them are playing 9 or vice versa. So how the hell do you figure that out with some teams that would be in the mix that have played 1 more or 1 less conference game? So the whole thing is this is bad.
It's a mess.
Right? Like, it's crazy that this is how we are trying to determine the champion of the sport.
Yeah, and it's because not all conferences are created equal, because not all conferences are the same, because there's no uniformity in the sport at all, it's always going to be this type of a mess until there is. Yeah, that's stunning. There better be a corresponding move out of the ACC, though.
Yeah, they got to do
There has to be.
I think they tried to fix the tiebreakers, but once again, the schedules aren't balanced, so I don't know how far that goes.
I'll tell you a team to really watch for in this, and I just saw this in the last couple of minutes. SMU and Notre Dame scheduled a game for next year. SMU is going to South Bend in like early November because, of course, they're not playing USC for the first time in a long time. And I think Notre Dame's going to be in a really interesting spot trying to find people that are dance partners for them. And I've always said that. The Big Ten at any point could just say, yeah, we're done playing you. Good luck.
You
want to play the service academies, fine. And you want to play a couple of ACCs, fine, if that satisfies your constituency. But the idea that they scheduled BYU and SMU and put them on their schedule for next year because I think they're having a hard time.
There's going to be a lot of – they already have the scheduling alliance with the ACC. I think they're going to be – and the interesting thing is Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12, wants to play hardball like he's one of the big boys. And so they really don't want to schedule Notre Dame, but I think some of their teams are going to have to bolster their playoff resumes. From what I've heard is that it's not a directive from the Big Ten, but they're discouraging their members from scheduling Notre Dame. Yeah. And by the way, Notre Dame has some traditional rivalries, obviously USC, which fell apart for different reasons, but Purdue is a rival of theirs. We watched them with Michigan State. We watched them with Michigan, right? Like Indiana is in-state. Like they're being told basically, if you can avoid it, don't schedule Notre Dame anymore because they're trying to force them into a spot where they have to join.
They should have done that 10 years ago.
Sure.
I was saying that 10 years ago. Stop playing them.
Yeah.
Force them in. Like, come on. I tease this. This is an interesting bite. Albert Breer was on with the Juice Bringers on Thursday. We, at this point, do not have an offensive coordinator at Ohio State. We told you that you're probably going to wait out the NFL hiring cycle on that, and I think that's what seems to be happening. But there's always been the threat of Matt Patricia. Like, is he going to see a year two? Now, we see him on the recruiting trail, and that's a very positive sign. The fellas asked Albert on Morning Juice on Thursday about that situation. Here was his answer.
What a lot of people around here want to know is we can merge little NFL and college. Matt Patricia on the short list, I'm sure, for some of these defensive coordinator positions that are still open. Like, what is his appeal? And do you think that he would be someone that, some of these guys would be looking to add on staff, whether they're building a whole staff out or even in a place like Dallas where there's an opening at the DC position?
Sure. I mean, I think, let's say if Matt Nagy had gotten the Tennessee job, I think he may have made a run at trying to get Patricia. Now, obviously, that's off the table because, Robert Saleh got the job. Robert runs a completely different system than that. So, that's not in play the way it was. So I think these things sort of float around this time of year and coaches have their wish lists. And so I don't think you guys would be surprised to hear that Patricia's on a couple of these guys' lists, but doesn't mean he's going anywhere. It's just sort of going to come down to what he wants. And I haven't gotten any sort of indication right now that he's closing in on one of the DC jobs. But I think if he really wanted to pursue one, it might be there for him.
I'll tell you dodged a major bullet with Stefanski. Because I really thought if there was I know there's a relationship there. I think if there was, that was the one when Kevin got the Atlanta job. If they would have moved off of that defensive coordinator who stayed, that would have been the spot that would have been the Patricia spot. So I think you dodged a bullet there.
Yeah. I get nervous understanding that there are still plenty of jobs open and some of the more desirable places to be, frankly, for a guy who it's so interesting thinking about Patricia's last couple of years because, he just kind of had faded away a little bit and people were scared off of the Detroit experience and all the things that happened there. One great year, and now it seems like everybody's like, oh, yeah, that guy can coach ball. So my hope is that he really enjoys what he gets to do developing young people, and that's a calling. Yeah. My hope is that his family is begging him not to leave this great city because they enjoy living here so much. And I know a lot of people feel that way. It's a great place when you have children. Schools are great around here. There's plenty to do. Game day is unmatched. All of those things. But when the NFL calls, I think you have to pick up the phone. So it's not going to be about that. I think I just hope it's about every other part of the experience where he says, I'd rather be doing this right now.
Yeah, and I think you hit on all of those things that are attributes for us here, but the lifestyle was like actually seeing Daddy.
Yeah.
You can do that in the NFL.
Yeah.
In college football, you can't.
It's hard.
Not the way it's set up right now. Tim May in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Want big flavor and even bigger value? The new $9.99 value meal has arrived at Hothead Burritos. Get your choice of a customized, loaded little burrito or bowl with fresh chips and salsa plus a drink, all for just $9.99 today. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This is 100% employee-owned now. It gives them a sense of pride.
It's always been a family business. We've benefited as owners from the work of all of these great employees for so long. Well, now everybody's an owner, so now everybody has a stake. It really is the culmination of the family business. The family just got bigger. We all know there's a difference between working for a paycheck and working for something that belongs to you.
Rosati Windows, locally made, expertly crafted.
Now's the time to buy or renew your 2026 dog licenses. Not only are dog licenses required by law, but fees support the Franklin County Dog Shelter and Adoption Center. Buy or renew your dog licenses today at franklincountyauditor.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The best hair on the air. You are listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, he joins every Friday at this time. It's the great Tim May, the Tim May Show with Clay Hall on FanStreamSports.com. And he joins on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. So it looks like we're staying at 12, at least for one more year, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, as you and I've discussed many times, 8 was the magic number, but 12 sounds okay too. I mean, the bottom line is, the last 2. Well, anyway, yeah, I don't have any problem with 12. I really had a problem with going to 24. 16, if you're going to expand, 16 made the most sense if expansion was in fact what was going to happen. But 12's fine with me. That means we'll still have stuff to talk about on talk radio.
What was it, as a guy who's covered this sport as long as you have, where did the finality of Indiana winning a national championship and going 16-0 sit with you?
Most amazing thing I've ever seen. I've been aware of college football since I was, 6 years old. So what is that, 66 years, 65 years. Most amazing thing I've ever seen. And it's definitely the most amazing thing you've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And that whippersnapper, Joshua Perry, most amazing thing he's ever seen. I know he likes to think 2014 is the most amazing thing ever, but not the case. But the bottom line is, I mean, this place had no. I'm talking about Indiana had no college football tradition, and at all. I mean, yeah, you can throw little darts here and there and hit like Anthony Thompson or Bill Mallory or Babe Laufenberg or whomever. But are you kidding? Me? And this is what's funny. I don't know if you guys agree or not. I think in every basketball school beats the heart of a football school if you can ever get to it and really pronounce it. Because, dude, it involves so many more fans. It involves so much more, in my opinion, so much more publicity, et cetera. Mm-hmm. I think in any basketball school there's an aspiration to one day be the really big timer in football. That's just my take. I mean, North Carolina hired Bill Belichick, for God's sakes.
Yeah, Mac Brown a second time.
There you go.
Yeah, it's I mean, I know from going up to Michigan State a couple times, like Izzo would love to be the football coach there if he had the opportunity, right?
Yes.
Like I tend to agree with what you're saying. Now, everybody's looking at what Indiana did in the turnaround, and they're asking, is this something that we can do too? Do you think there are takeaways from Indiana's 2-year turnaround that other programs can replicate?
You know what, Josh? I don't know if you can replicate everything, but I guarantee you right now, athletic and the academic, the administrators of schools are going, if them, why not us? Right? I mean, meaning from a pressure standpoint, everything is there. I saw this asinine take that Rob Parker had about how Indiana bought its national. I'm just going, dude, you didn't even compare the NIL situation between Miami and Indiana when you made that stupid comment. I mean, Miami had like $27 million NIL situation. Indiana had like 21 million. If you look at all of the sources, who knows what the exact numbers are? But I mean, what a stupid comment to make. But then on top of that, it finally comes down to any kind of restaurants. You can get the ingredients. You can go buy the ingredients at a grocery store, but now you got to have the chef to put them together and make you a cut above for the restaurant next door. And Cignetti is definitely that chef. And by that, I mean, he has a lot of sous chefs, obviously, who are following in his teachings, et cetera. But the way they've been able to identify talent, affordable talent, and then plug it in 2 straight years, is phenomenal. And not everybody can do that. So, I used to go by this saying that there are more big-time college football coaches than there are big-time college football programs. And I think this blows that one out of the water from the standpoint of everybody has the ability. There are 30 or 40 programs minimum that have the ability to do what Indiana has done from a monetary or financial standpoint of putting together an NIL that's at least competitive, but then identifying who actually fits in your system, in your team, in your program is the secret sauce. And Kurt Cignetti's definitely done that.
You got to have a great leader that people want to follow. You got to hit a nerve with your alumni base, and then you got to trigger your ultra-rich alumni base and say, oh, this is fun. I like this. Yep. I've never seen Mark Cuban at an Indiana football game until this year. Never seen him at an Indiana football, ever. I've seen him at Assembly Hall, but I've never seen him at an Indiana football game until this year. Maybe last year he did, but either way, within the last couple of years. So now he's engaged, and now this goes to the next question of, like, Tim, I don't think they're going anywhere. I'm not saying that they're going to go, what they've done, 26-2 over a 2-year period every time. Like, there's going to be, but they're not going to fall off a cliff either because of the things I just mentioned are now triggered. They're ready to go. They got a taste.
Yeah, and not only that, it reminds me of how recruiting experts kind of like blossomed over the last 40 years. But originally, what you started doing was, hey, who's Alabama recruiting? Who's Ohio State recruiting? Whatever. And then you go, well, that guy must be pretty good, right? And then you go, but what I'm building to here, who's Indiana recruiting? I mean, who are they looking at in the portal? That's what could get them now is that more people paying attention to this three-star coming out of high school dude that now they suddenly want on their football team. That word gets around, and that's what could maybe put a fly in their ointment. But now it's a destination. It is definitely a destination. In 2 years, they've lost 2 football games, and that was the 2 teams that played for the national championship a year ago. I mean, if you go there, what's that old Michigan line? Those who show up will be champions. I'll just bastardize
those who stay,
yeah.
Those who show up will be champions. Does the Big Ten reign continue? Do we see a Big Ten champ next year, or do you feel like it's going to start to flatten back out and we might see a different conference representing at the top?
Well, I mean, let's face it. Miami was 2 or 3 plays away from beating Indiana, but Indiana made the plays when it had to, including that interception. That's still crazy to think about. My point is that's how fragile it is at the top, But the interesting thing, the most interesting stat, actually most interesting occurrence was what Paul Feinbaum said earlier this week. Finally doing a mea culpa. I texted him and said, man, it took a lot of guts to do, even though, I mean, you're taking a lot of arrows, but unlike Custer, you're still standing, I mean, at least you were able to stand up, take the arrows, and say I was wrong. But the bottom line is everybody's working really hard right now. This, Josh, to be that number one. I mean, because it is attainable. It is attainable. It's not just. But I've said this all along. Bo and I were talking about this. I got to go to the Alabama and South Carolina game this year with my baby brother Tony, who is now legitimately 68, and the bottom line is, I will say this. The atmosphere at Southeastern Conference games, most of the places, is off the chart, is off the hook. But that doesn't mean the football is. You follow my drift?
Mm-hmm.
And now that's been exposed. So I think it's going to be another very competitive year coming up, especially staying at 12. I think it's going to be competitive about now. Who does get the nod to be that extra big conference with the extra school in? Why wouldn't it be the Big Ten now?
Yeah. When you finally get out to see Montana, because you're not going to be like the guy who dies at the end of the hunt for Red October, you're going to see it. And you go to the battle site at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. I want you to FaceTime me, and I want you to realize just how dumb and arrogant Custer was. Because when you go stand where he was, you go, dude, what were you thinking? And Crazy Horse and Chief Joseph, baby, they circled him, cooked.
Did you ever hear the guy about the joke about the impressionist painter who was asked to do a painting of that and asked what finally do you think impressionist wise Custer was thinking at that very moment, and he built this he made this thing. Anyway, I can't tell the whole joke, but anyway, the bottom line is it was a French impressionist painter. He goes, holy cow, look at all the freaking Indians.
That's exactly right.
There, except the word wasn't freaking.
When you go there, it's in Southwest Montana. When you go there, it is stupefying to think how arrogant he was. It really is. When you look at the geography of it.
Yeah. Well, it's like, might makes right. Not necessarily right, but
no.
As the line goes, I mean, the cavalry won in the end, so
they did. Yes,
that was what it was. But
bullets are always going to be better than arrows.
Montana.
Yeah,
I've flown over Montana. I just haven't been on the boots on the ground. By the way, I'm in Sneads Ferry, North Carolina right now, and I'm house sitting my daughter's house while she and her Marine Corps captain husband or significant other are in California. And the thing is, all I'm looking at is that Choke Point Charlie, which is going to be between Wytheville, Virginia, and Charleston, West Virginia, that I'm going to have to drive through perhaps Monday to get back to Columbus.
Be safe, buddy. Good talking to you.
I won't be back till Thursday.
Probably not. Take your time. You got nowhere to be. Stop at the Greenbrier. Have a great meal. There he goes. Tim Main.
What a guy.
Yellow light.
What a guy.
He's 101.
He is.
We'll do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
This is a Daily Show with Coach Jake Diebler, brought to you by Encova Insurance. Jake, we're asking you about the practice facility, but also I have to ask you about kind of the tribute wall that's out there and the acknowledgments of the guys that played here previously and how important that is to connect it with the current day players.
We want to celebrate our history. It helps establish a standard that we're fighting for in this program. And our former players come around a lot. and they deserve to be celebrated, and those great teams deserve to be celebrated. So I want our guys seeing what excellence looks like when they walk up and down the hallways of this building, and that's one of the ways we can do it.
Okay, we'll have another comment in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the court. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. Basketball is full of challenging shots, and life can be too. With Encova, you don't have to do it alone. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Jake, and I ask you about tying the traditions together with Ohio State basketball. I know this past weekend the yearly captain's dinner occurred. The captains were acknowledged at halftime of the UCLA game, and that has to be a big thing also to tie with the guys that are wearing the uniforms right now.
It was great. It's one of the best nights of the year for our program, having our captains in town and each of them getting a chance to address our team briefly. The common themes, love how hard our guys play, how tough they play, and multiple guys, issued a challenge to our guys, play for each other, and we have, but I think our guys just took that to another level for the UCLA game. So I'm thankful those guys were back in town, thankful for the influence they've had on our program over the years, and we love it when our former players are back.
Okay, this is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Around here, it's all-wheel drive all year round, and Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anyone. Now through February 2nd, get 2.99 APR financing on remaining new 25 Tacomas. Excludes Toyota Pro and Trailhunter. Or lease a well-equipped 25 Tacoma SR5 for $279 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Columbus, are you hungry? Well, it's a good thing Uber Eats has the best deals at all your favorite local restaurants. Like this great deal at El Vaquero. From now until March 31st, you can get a buy one, get one free quesadilla deal, all on the Uber Eats app. That's good for me, but I need to figure out what everybody else is going to eat. So next time you're craving a great meal, don't overthink it. Just get on the Uber Eats app and save big with a great deal. Order now only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Friday edition. Hit it, Bake.
thing or not a thing?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the Master Griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
So we had the news that Pete Thamel and Ross Dellinger were breaking earlier today about the college football playoff remaining at 12 teams for next year. Pete Thamel was the first to report this one, that the Big 12 title game will move to a Friday night primetime slot in 2026. It will be December 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It was recently held Saturday at noon in that time slot. Thing or not a thing?
Joshua, you said earlier, Brett Yormark, who's the commissioner of the Big 12, sometimes tries to punch above his weight and thinks that maybe he has a little more influence than he has. Mm-hmm. And I agree with all of that. But I also think that at least he's trying something.
Sure.
He's trying. He's got the worst product to sell of the four bigs by far. I mean, it's by far the worst product in terms of the television shows that his entities can provide compared to the other conferences. But he's trying. He's trying in basketball. This is trying. Going Friday at 8 o'clock, that's trying. That's having a window to yourself versus having it competing against Big Ten, ACC, whatever else. Now he's got a primetime window to himself for his teams to showcase. I think it's a smart thing for him to try. He's trying everything he can to legitimize his league, to get his league in front of more eyeballs, and I'm for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing he's done since coming in there is trying new things. And I think even for basketball, he's mentioned the international games. Like all the different things are on the table for sure. I think this gives them a primetime window that they probably desire. Noon works for the Big Ten because of who's playing at noon.
Yeah.
Noon does not work for the Big 12. And I was trying to pull up the viewership numbers, but they were abysmal. And Texas Tech BYU as a national matchup, I'm not waking up to watch that. But if it's on a Friday night, I would certainly tune in.
It's interesting, as you guys were talking about that, I was thinking, is Brett Yormark, there's nobody that's a bigger Texas Tech fan than Brett Yormark right now. He needs them to really be good and become something in this era of college football. But I don't think Texas Tech can carry it by themselves. They need a Robin to Batman here.
Yeah, but they have the potential for that. Like Oklahoma State, watch them. I mean, they've got basically that whole North Texas team transferred, including the quarterback. All those guys are at Oklahoma State next year. I'm not saying they're going to be Indiana, but they're going to be good next year. And, you think of a place like TCU. First of all, it's ridiculous that SMU isn't in that league, that they wouldn't let SMU in. That would have been perfect for them to be in that league. They need those like TCU. They need the operations with the oil money to get locked in, and then you could slowly build that back. And BYU was another one that was obviously always a brilliant addition because they're always going to be in the mix. You want to talk about schools with money? They got a lot.
I'd say people don't know, but they got a lot of money. That
tons.
Mormon Church has a ton of money.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Sharon Moore, the gift that keeps on giving. Former Michigan Wolverines wide receiver Anthony Simpson made a startling claim about playing time when he was at the school in relation to the Sharon Moore scandal. Simpson transferred to Michigan from Massachusetts before last season. He's already entered the portal again after the season. He says, targets versus non-targets, I was the best slot receiver for Michigan, and I was treated unfairly due to Moore being blackmailed by players and staff members, which jeopardized my opportunity to get on the field. Fastest player on the team, and I won reps every day in practice, only there for fall camp. Our team captains also advocated for me to play. I was denied fairness. Former Michigan players Christian Dixon and Raheem Anderson appeared to co-sign Simpson's posts before they were deleted. Thing or not a thing?
I mean, I don't know. What is the level of story that would come out of there that would be surprising at this point? I really don't know. I mean,
once Sharon got arrested, that was...
Dude, Stallions into Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, my God. Like, how much corruption and just dirty, filthy program can you have?
I mean, what do they say? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. They're cheating all kinds of ways up there.
They really are. Yeah, the Moore stuff's crazy, though. Like, it was crazy when they hired him. We all knew they hired him as a patsy.
Yes.
They knew someone was going to have to fall for Harbaugh.
Yep.
So everybody knew that. But
they didn't pay him enough, by the way. If I was going to be that guy and have to take the fall, I need a little bit more than $6 million a year when other coaches in this conference are making a lot more. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Here, so let me say this real quick on this story. It sounds crazy, but of all the things that have happened at Michigan, it feels believable. The player who responded to this and said it wasn't true was Samaj Morgan. And I don't know if you guys have watched him. There's no way in hell he should have been getting as many targets for Michigan as he was getting. He can't run routes. He drops the ball consistently. He's not big. He's not that fast. He gets boneheaded penalties. So him saying, oh, no, this ain't true, and he was the guy who was playing over the dude who's making the accusations, I tend to believe these accusations based off of that.
And maybe validates it a little more. I think the thing about this almost sounds like a player with sour grapes, but as you said, Bo, nothing would surprise me up there. I expect all of it to be true.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can do the Sphere one.
All right. The Las Vegas Sphere lost $500 million in its first year, yet its stock is up 100% in the past 6 months. The Wizard of Oz film, which they are showing in the Sphere when they don't have big events going on, is generating $2 million per day in ticket sales. And now they plan to build a global network of smaller 6,000-seat spheres. The Sphere Entertainment, which is the holding company behind the Sphere, says their next location is coming to Washington, D.C. It'll cost about $1 billion to build, and it'll be open by 2030. Thing or not a thing?
I do want to see something there at some point.
Same.
It looks awesome. My wife's parents saw the Eagles there and said it was unbelievable. I do want to see something. It looks like a completely immersive experience.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know how many of these I want to see popping up. It's cool as a novelty.
Yeah.
Like if you're not actually going there for entertainment, like I've been to Vegas a few times since the Sphere opened up. And it's just really weird to look at. Like it's actually a little bit unnerving for me to see some of the imagery as a part of what the Sphere does in the skyline. So I don't know if I want a bunch of these popping up, but I heard it's great on the inside.
Yeah, I don't think
we could point out of you too, by the way, of not wanting too many of them and it being a unique experience. I mean, that's kind of what's hurt Vegas.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, you don't want these like CVS where there's one on 3 corners in your town. No. And there's only a few places that could handle this, I believe. Like, I don't think D.C. is one of them. Maybe New York, maybe L.A., maybe Nashville. There's not a lot of places that could do this.
I would agree with you on that. Final hour of the week coming up next. Get you set for the NFL Championship weekend. We kick it off with what we learned. We'll go over some of the coaching searches that are still ongoing in the NFL. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront costs before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
New year, new you, new truck from Germain Toyota of Columbus, and the deals are built tough. Drive home the all-new 2026 Toyota Tacoma with 2.99% financing for up to 48 months. Need more muscle? The 2026 Toyota Tundra delivers with 2.99% financing for up to 72 months, or take $3,000 in customer cash. Germain Toyota has the truck and the deal you've been waiting for. Shop today at Germain Toyota of Columbus, where selection, value, and trust come standard. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. One of the great annoyances in life, at least for me, is the check engine light, right? You get in your car, you see the check engine light, and you go, I got to take care of that. I don't know what it is. So you let it sit there forever. It bugs you, and eventually a bigger problem happens. Well, every day in your house, your check engine light might be on, but it's not your engine. It's your windows. Because you sit down on your couch, you feel the cold, drafty air coming in through your windows, and you go, I got to do something about these windows. But just like the check engine light, I'm afraid of how much it's going to cost, and I don't know where to go. I can't help you with your check engine light, but I can help you with your windows. Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale is going on now. Stop wasting money by letting the warm air in your house escape through your cold, drafty windows. You're spending more on your heating bills when you don't have to. Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale is the perfect time to address this problem. Plus, 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. That could be yours as well. Schedule an estimate today. WindowNation.com. Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Ryan Baker. Jake Diebler's Buckeye basketball team has a huge matchup tonight as the Bucks travel to Ann Arbor to face the number 3 Wolverines at 8. We've got it right here on The Fan for you, beginning at 7 with Brandon Beam in the Fan warm-up show. Paul and Ron take over at 7:15. Speaking of Buckeye basketball, the 12th-ranked Lady Bucks, they've won 7 straight after beating Indiana 81-67 last night. They trailed at half by 10, but a huge second half from Jelani Cambridge gets them the win. They'll travel to number 10 Iowa Sunday at 2. The Blue Jackets got a 1-0 win over the Dallas Stars last night. Zach Werenski with the goal. Jet Greaves, he was amazing in net, stopping all 28 shots he faced. Pete Thamel and others reporting that the college football playoff will remain at 12 teams for next season. This one brought to you by Eco Plumbers. Get $500 in free plumbing services when you buy a new water heater with Eco.
If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour of the week. Doug Lesmerises coming up in 28 minutes from now. Get you set for the NFL Championship weekend coming up in about 15 minutes. Right now, though, time to see what we learned this week, if anything.
We're not trying to do too much around here, but over the course of 5 days, you might have gleaned some stuff. Bishop and Friends present What We've Learned This Week.
Well, I think one of the things that we learned, and this happened today, is that if you are looking for true leadership in college football, keep looking, because there really isn't any. And an example of this is this 12-team playoff that we're going to get again next year. And again, I prefer 12 to 24. I think 8's better than 12, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. You want to go to 6, that more too. But at the same time, they're going to stay at 12. But this is the part that gets back to the root of the matter. If the college football playoff had this year's rules, next year's rules this year, Notre Dame would have been in over Miami.
Right.
And Duke would have been in over James Madison.
Sure.
So your matchups in this year, the team that played for the national title would not have been in. So it would have went Texas A&M against Notre Dame, and it would have went Oregon against Duke. That's what it would have looked like. Who looks back at this year and think they got the Miami part wrong? Who looks back at this year and goes, oh, God, it should have been Duke in there? Those pesky Blue Devils deserve that ACC bid. Who among them making these decisions decided to throw that in there? I get it. You can't come to an agreement on 16 or 24, fine. Okay. I'm team 16. Joshua, I think you made the sense in the case for 24. Fine. That's a conversation.
I don't want 24. I'd like to go back to the old BCS, honestly. But
I shouldn't have put words in your mouth. You were
explaining Petitti's case.
You were making Petitti's case.
Yes.
But who looks at this and said we need a Duke in this thing?
Well, I think what they're banking on is the new ACC tiebreakers would have had two teams playing for the conference title that we would be okay with in the playoff. And if that's not the case, then I think we need to divorce ourselves from this idea of conference champions being in the playoff. These conferences are too bloated. You can make an argument that in a lot of years in these conferences, you won't get the top two teams. Are you trying to tell me that Alabama was the best regular season team in the SEC? Yes, they were, but does that mean that they're the best team in the SEC? They didn't play everybody in that conference, and we figured out that they absolutely were not. So I'm intrigued by how we get to these decisions. I think the Notre Dame in the top 12 can't get bumped out thing is fine, right? I'm there for that. But as long as we're going to tie ourselves to conference championships, I still think we're holding on to a part of the past in this sport that we don't need to hold on to.
Joshua, I love your point about, I've said all along, I don't want automatic qualifiers in this. If you're not one of the 12 best, because I thought this is what this was about. This was about crowning the best team, I thought. If you're not one of those, I don't want you in. So if Notre Dame's in the top 12, yeah, they should be in. And Bo, you know how much I feel about these 3 lost teams in a playoff. We would have had Duke, a 5-loss team in the playoff?
Yuck.
You can miss me with that garbage.
Let me say this. I'm a college football conservative, right? In real life might not be that way, but take me back. Take me back to the old days. I'm tired of the DEI bracket. Doesn't make sense. Might make sense in the real world. Don't put it in my sport. So, yeah, there are a lot of things we need to figure out. But if we went to an all-at-large model instead of the AQs, I think I'd feel a lot better about how we get to the field, with the caveat being we do it with the old BCS rankings or something like that instead of doing it with the committee.
You know, the thing, too, about people always forget this about Alabama. Alabama got in because the year before, Ward Manuel, who was running this thing, said a loss in a conference championship game will not be harmful. That's why he got in.
It's dumb.
That's it. And there was nobody who watched them play in the SEC title game against Georgia who said that team needs to be in. I mean, quite honestly, if you were the SEC, you probably would have rather had Texas or Vanderbilt in. And I don't think either one of those teams were great or deserving. But if you were the SEC, you'd probably... Alabama was leaking gas for a month.
Yeah.
But they got to stay in because... Oh, we can't punish a team that has an extra data point to it.
Yes, you can.
You can do anything you want.
If they get run off the field. By the way, that was the second time we watched them get blown out during the year. If you watch the first game and you watch the very last game that they played in the conference championship, you'd be like, damn, this is not a team that's a playoff team. But we let ourselves get carried away with all the other things that were involved. I've never seen a team get blown out twice and make it into the playoff.
And I'm gonna, just because we've mentioned the BCS model a couple times here today, people will be like, well, nobody liked the BCS. People always hated it. Well, they hated it because it was just 2 teams.
Right.
When you're doing it over a larger amount of field, it's probably the best way. And people will talk about, and you have people that complain about the computer rankings in the Ohio High School Athletic Association playoffs. A lot of times it's right, and a lot of times if a team is 6-4, but they're actually good, they still get in, and you'll see those teams make a run in the playoffs if they're good enough. It's the best way to do it, I think.
Human beings are inherently biased.
They are.
There's no way for us not to be. There are things that happen in our upbringing, things that happen in our adult life that lead us to biases. And so if you have nothing but humans in a room, you have bias. The computers take out the bias.
Easily,
or at least they minimize it.
Especially people that are tied to these universities and conferences.
Right. I mean, imagine Saban, who still works for Alabama, even though he's on TV, which nobody really talks about. You don't think he's talking to these people during the week? He knows all of them.
Oh, of course.
It's people are influenced, and I get it, but I think we should move away from that. I've got something that I learned this week.
Go ahead.
Big Noon might look a little bit different next year, with the idea that Indiana is a team that people expect to win now, and their fans actually watch the games. They have captivated the hearts of America. People watch the games. Maybe Ohio State gets to play at 3:30 or hopefully 7:30 Big Ten College Countdown in Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. But we might be looking at a world where Fox is changing how they want to select games for next year.
What I think is going to be really interesting about that is, this is another one, and this goes back to the expansion. You added your most expensive window in terms of what an entity is paying you for it is Big Noon.
Mm-hmm.
You added 4 teams that cannot play home games in that window.
Yep.
That's a problem. That's a real problem.
Not a problem for me.
You benefit, but, well, sort of you do. I mean, you do, because you're going to get all of the really fun West Coast home games. You're going to get the Washington, the Oregon, the USC. I mean, I don't think UCLA is ever going to get there, but the other 3 are going to get there a lot. And you're going to get to those games are on NBC, and that's a big win. But the problem is none of them can play home games at noon.
Right.
And so the idea that you added those teams and didn't think about that window, it's a major flaw in the way that this conference was put together.
That they were going to make those teams play early. I truly do believe that, until some people were like, you can't do that. It's the same thing.
Like 9 a.m. kicks.
I think NBC was under the impression that they would be able to have Ohio State and Michigan and Penn State a little bit more later in the year. And once they signed the deal, they realized that these are brands that traditionally do not play night games in November. I think there were a lot of people who learned new information after they already signed the deal about who can play when and where.
I think you're right. And I think that same thing that you just said about your employer, I think you could also say that about Gene Smith, who was the athletic director here at the time. Ward Manuel, who was the athletic director at Michigan at the time. Whoever's running, is it Baker who's running Penn State? Like, all of those dudes looked at it and said, they just looked at the dollar sign and they didn't think about the cost of what it was going to be on your fan base and your institution. And that's where Ohio State missed it.
No doubt.
They didn't read the fine print and didn't think that basically every big game you ever are going to play at the Shoe is going to be at noon. And that's going to continue until this contract is done. I mean, that Texas game at noon is absurd. It's absurd that was a noon game. Never should have been.
Well.
And it's not fair that you got to carry it. So hopefully, to your point, maybe Indiana being good can help that. That's the other reason I say you ought to force Notre Dame in this thing.
Yeah.
Is for exactly what you just said, because now there's another viable noon team. And by the way, that would help you guys at 7:30. It helps CBS at 3:30.
No doubt.
I think it would help if Pat Fitzgerald got Michigan State.
There's another one.
I know you don't. I think you don't believe that Pat Fitzgerald is going to do that at Michigan State JP, but that would help for sure. Speaking of Big Noon, I think we learned this week that Ohio State will have a Big Noon game on October 17th next year when they take on Indiana.
Yeah.
So you're going to have Indiana's going to be Big Noon. I mean, do we have the schedule? I'll tell you what.
They're releasing the schedule next week, I believe.
Okay, but we know the opponents.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do that in addition to preview the NFL championship game weekend, because I can tell you, I bet I can get at 90% how these are going to shake out.
No doubt.
We will get to that coming up next, in addition to get you a preview for the NFL championship weekend. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements: more energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or visit tristatemenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
It's 2026, the year you achieve your health goals. The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Tomorrow, some of us will wake up and it will be our last day on this earth. It will be unexpected and without warning. Each year, 250,000 people will die from medical malpractice, the third leading cause of death in America. 43,000 will die in a car or truck crash. 6,000 will die working on the job. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and we represent many of these families. It's awful. Unfortunately, many times some of these family members are not speaking and never get to say, I'm sorry or goodbye. If you're at odds with a loved one, listen closely. Pick up the phone. Call them. Say you're sorry. I promise a huge burden will be lifted from your heart and your soul will be renewed. Even if you're not wrong in your own mind, it doesn't matter. Death is bad enough. Death without closure and love will follow you the rest of your days. Trust me on this. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Jake Diebler's Buckeyes hit the road for a Big Ten battle with Michigan. Boom!
Live fan coverage starts Friday night at 7.
Every game, every season. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I take care of the kids, my dad, things at work, but I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression. Go to mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
It's easy to think of winter as a time when not much is happening in the landscape or in the pest and disease world. However, there are a couple of services that can help your trees and shrubs during the colder months, like horticultural oil and anti-desiccant applications. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org to learn more and to find an ISA-certified arborist in your area who is trained and has the proper equipment to perform your tree work safely.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny skies today and cold as temperatures fall throughout the day. The windy conditions getting below zero by later this afternoon. For tonight, partly cloudy with lows in the single digits. Feels like still below zero. And we will continue to have that wind chill below zero as we go into Saturday. Most of Saturday looks to be dry with mostly cloudy skies, with snow accumulation beginning late Saturday and going into your Sunday. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
Have you already started your tailgate? Us too. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right. So one thing over the next couple of years that's going to help, guys, is and it's going to help you, Mr. Perry, and that I think you're going to benefit from this, and I think that CBS will benefit here at Channel 10 as well. Ohio State's schedule the next couple of weeks are pretty good. So I think it's going to get spread around a little bit. In terms of the games you care about, I mean, I'm not guessing there's a whole lot of give a damn for Ball State in the opener. But then you go to Texas. Obviously, that'll be primetime, ESPN, ABC. You know that. Then Kent State here. These are the ones that we know. And then October 17th is Indiana. We know that that's going to be big noon. So in terms of the games you really probably want to see as a fan base, Oregon at Ohio Stadium, USC at LA, that'll either be on U or CBS. Michigan's obviously going to be noon. So my hunch would be that Oregon would be noon as well. So in terms of potential games other than the noon window, you're talking about Illinois, Maryland, Northwestern, Iowa, Nebraska. Some of those are obviously road games with Iowa and Nebraska. But my hunch would be that of the games you care about, Texas in primetime, Indiana at noon, Oregon at noon, USC 3:30 or primetime, and then Michigan at noon.
I bet you Fox would take, depending on what else is on the schedule when it comes out that week, Ohio State at Iowa. They love Kinnick. They love the wave, and that's usually a game that is a lot closer than what the people want it to be going there.
Yep. Lincoln, too.
Yeah.
Not that Nebraska's any good, but you can sell that atmosphere.
I was thinking the same thing when I was looking at this, that Iowa's going to be big noon, Indiana's going to be big noon. I could even see Illinois being big noon. Michigan, we know, is big noon. Oregon's big noon. USC, it can't be. So that's going to be who has the pick first, CBS or NBC for that, and who gets that, because both would love to have that game.
No doubt.
Ball State, are they going to put the opener at night? I don't know. So that one kind of feels like that kind of feels like a 3:30, but they might try. But I would think one of Ball State or Kent State, you're going to get a night game out of that.
Yeah, they might do one of those primetime BTN deals, and then one of the conference games is going to have to end up going on Big Ten Network as well. They get each team twice, I believe.
That screams Maryland to me.
Yeah, that's what it feels like for sure.
Northwestern.
Have I told you guys the story about the Illabuck when I was playing? So we all know Ohio State, Illinois is a huge rivalry in college football, so much so that there's a trophy that's on the line, the old Illabuck, and it used to be a real turtle, and now it's a wooden deal. Well, we won it, of course, when I was in school, and that trophy disappeared for a year, and nobody asked about it for a year.
Okay.
Michael Bennett, who joins this radio station every once in a while, had it in his basement.
Come on.
For a year.
That's amazing.
The actual Illabuck was in Bennett's basement?
The real trophy.
How did he get that out of the facility?
Dude, I mean, again, who's guarding the Illabuck?
I'm sure it's not in a prominent place.
Yeah.
I wonder where it is in the facility. Like, where is it now?
I feel like it used to be in the Biggs lobby. So not the lobby of the Woody, but the Biggs where it joins by the practice field. I think they used to keep the trophy back there. I have no damn clue where it's at right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, how did anybody know that he had it?
Nobody knew until they were like, hey, I think we need this again. Like,
Did you know?
We're about to play. No, I found this out after the fact.
That's amazing that he took the Illabuck.
Just walk off with the trophy.
The only thing that would make that story better is if it was still a real live turtle and he was keeping it alive the whole time.
Just a pet turtle.
Mike's a big-hearted guy, too. He would have done a good job with the real turtle, I think.
I agree.
I think he really would have nurtured that sucker.
And even if statute of limitations weren't up, he could fight his way out of this now.
Yeah, why not?
He definitely could. That's an amazing story. Like, can you imagine you got your hands on Floyd of Rosedale? Or if you're somebody who in the Wisconsin-Minnesota game and you stole that axe?
Floyd would be a heavy trophy to steal. That's a group project.
That is a group project. That's a damn good-looking pig, though.
It is.
I like the look of that guy.
It's a cool trophy.
Yeah, there's Big Ten's. So many of those have, like Minnesota, Wisconsin have. Minnesota's got like 1,000 trophy games. They got the little brown jug.
I have a take on that.
Go ahead.
Too many damn trophies, man. Oh my God. Every week we're prepping for a conference game, and they're like, "Oh, and the such and such trophy's on the line." And I'm like, "We don't need to mention that in the pregame show. We don't need to mention every one of these trophies every week."
Do you think that came from? I wonder what made that happen. Like how they came up with all of those. Like what was the genesis of an axe and a pig and a jeweled shillelagh and all these other things that happen? I mean, at one point they tried making one with Michigan State, Penn State, which was like a land grant trophy. It was like a hunk of granite.
So
they tried making it a thing.
I think a lot of these come from politicians who used to make bets on games. Like the Floyd was a live pig. Mm-hmm. And so there was a wager on the pig, and like you win the game, you get the pig. So that's a thing. I think politicians early on were very involved in the genesis of a lot of these. And then there are these like, what is it, the jug or whatever, like there was one of these games where one of the teams felt like they couldn't drink the water that was provided because it was poisoned. And so they brought their own jugs.
Yeah.
Like, just crazy lore, but like, I don't think we need to do it anymore, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I think it's fair. It's funny you mentioned the pig and it was a live pig. You guys know what 4-H is?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had 4-H at Olentangy.
Okay, so like it's a agricultural club that you can be in, and so I couldn't stand it, so I never did it. But my brothers did, and my middle brother Tuck had a pig that he used for 4-H, and so so you have to get the animal in the spring, and then you raise him throughout the summer, and then at the end of the summer you go to the fair. So in our case, it was the Marias County Fair. You go to the Marias County Fair, and then you have to show the pig. So you have to show like how good he is on a leash and what's his muscle type, like all of these things. So my brother, who was probably 9 or 10 at the time, he named the pig Babe from the movie. So I don't know if it was a failure to communicate, but at the end of the fair, guess what happens to the pig?
Slaughter.
Bacon. So I'll never forget poor Tuck, like coming to the realization that not only did he have to, so he showed Babe and he had all these things, and then it comes down, you put him in the ring and we're going to bid on Babe. And so he got his check, like he got, I don't know, $1,200, which was a lot of money for a 9 or 10-year-old.
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds pretty good. But at the same time, so he goes through the ring and away we go. The next thing you know, Babe leaves, and you know where Babe's going. And my poor brother just was sobbing.
Isn't there a thing that you don't name the animals on the farm for that
that's
reason?
Why we don't.
Yeah.
When Joe Thomas started raising beef, I said, do me a favor, don't let your kids name those cows. We never named the cows. The cows steer clear of the naming.
Poor fella.
Poor Babe. But he was great bacon. We got NFL championship weekend this weekend. Pats at Broncos on Sunday, and then Rams at Seahawks on at night. One is at 3, one is at 6:30. For Braves, this is year one for Mike Vrabel, for God's sakes. And here he is in an AFC championship game, and now they have a lot of pressure, and that they're favorites, and they're expected to take care of their business. Here is Vrabes on the message to his team heading into Sunday.
They're 2 more games experienced in the playoffs than they were 2 weeks ago. So just try to play well and prepare and enjoy it.
Did you ever think he would be this?
Yes.
Did you?
So Vrabel was a main part of my recruitment to Ohio State. And, I'd started getting recruited when I was like a sophomore, and then my senior year was the year that Tress resigned. So Fickell and Vrabel were like the central figures there. And talking to that man, there's something about a big time coach that you recognize right off the bat. And watching him coach in practice and sitting in on meetings when I was a recruit, I'm like, oh my God, there's just so much knowledge about the game that you can't even share with 18 to 22-year-olds. They'd be so bogged down. But you could just see that even the level of, when he was coaching linebackers at the time, the level of teaching that he was trying to instill was something different than other places that I had been. And it was no shock, a couple years later, he was calling plays in the NFL, and then very shortly after that, he's a head coach. But former player, one at the highest level, was a junkyard dog in the way that he got it done. Like everything that you would want to see in a former player turned coach, all the qualities existed for him.
He was in Berea last year. He was like a one-man tornado. Like when you would go to practice, he would bounce from anything. He'd hop on scout team, play tackle.
Yeah.
Then he'd play nose tackle on scout defense, and then like he'd help on punt team.
Yep.
He never stopped. Like he never stops moving at a practice.
Urban used to tell the story that he went to Patriots camp. Bill Belichick invited him up there, and he's watching the Patriots practice special teams. And Vrabel's starting for these guys, and he's running down on the scout team on kickoff and making guys' life a living hell, because he's like, we have to be really good at this kind of stuff, and I'm not on the return team. I'm going to give somebody a look. Yeah. And it shows up. I remember seeing practice clips when he was the head coach of the Titans, and he would get in there with the D-line, and he would put the vest on that has the pads and like go through drills. And these dudes are like putting their paws on him, yanking him around. He's yelling, screaming at him, and just he's a real coach. Like he's a ball coach, and it shows up.
Yeah, and completely authentic always, even if you don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Like, you'll get the honest with him all the time. Doug Lesmerises in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
New year, new you, new truck from Germain Toyota of Columbus, and the deals are built tough. Drive home the all-new 2026 Toyota Tacoma with 2.99% financing for up to 48 months. Need more muscle? The 2026 Toyota Tundra delivers with 2.99% financing for up to 72 months, or take $3,000 in customer cash. Germain Toyota has the truck and the deal you've been waiting for. Shop today at Germain Toyota of Columbus, where selection, value, and trust come standard. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
After my accident, people warned me to slow down. I said, I don't know how. Thanks to my VA care team, I haven't.
At VA, we're using technology to help veterans recover faster and live their lives to the fullest. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov/PSA.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
Time to on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Conversation with a good buddy, Doug Lesmerises. The Bill and Doug Show on YouTube. Bill and Doug on Ohio State football. Bill and Doug, OSU.substack.com. Well, you did it. Everything that you set out to all those years ago, college football has provided it. And the way that you celebrated, I can't wait to hear the details on that. What type of bubbly it was. Was it champagne and caviar, whatever it was, fireworks, whatever, because you have 3 straight Big Ten champions. You have Paul Feinbaum admitting that the Big Ten is a preeminent conference. You got Saban saying the South can't compete because of the money. You've won, buddy. What was the victory like?
I'd like to officially announce my retirement. It's over.
You've done it.
Going out on top. A lot of sword swinging, Bo. Had my sword beside me on Monday night, and it does. I've said it makes me feel like a lunatic to have national people like checking in now, saying things that we've been saying for 3 years, that we've been discussing on this show forever, and it's like, yes. Congratulations. But I don't want to, all are welcome. We got a big tent here up in the north. We'd like to welcome anybody who understands how good the Big Ten is, whether they realized it 3 years ago or whether they realized it yesterday. But the other thing is, and I hope everybody realizes this, it's not a blip. It's the new norm. And I do think that's the realization. It's not Of course this is happening, and it's going to continue. Doesn't mean the SEC won't ever win a title again, but the Big Ten's not going away.
Doug, to that end, as you look at the teams in the league, and I don't think we'll ever see anything quite like Indiana again, but who are the programs in the Big Ten specifically that, if triggered and if motivated, could be?
So, just on the field, I'm very intrigued by the fact that all 4 West Coast teams are returning veteran quarterbacks next year, and what Nico Iamaleava, Jaden Maeva, Damon Williams, and Dante Moore could mean to Big Ten football is interesting. But resources, winning coach, building it up. I'm curious about Wisconsin, man, because when they decided last year they weren't going to fire Luke Fickell, they won a couple games at the end of the year, right? They're trying to fix their quarterback situation. Again, if they get some luck with quarterback health, Luke Fickell has won. Luke Fickell, like that. Luke Fickell, Cincinnati is Kurt Signetti's JMU, right? And it's been a mess. But part of keeping Luke Fickell is their AD and everybody, Chris McIntosh, everybody there saying, we're going to invest, right? We're not just going to leave our coach hanging out here. We realize it takes money. It takes resources. We're also going to invest in this. Their schedule's much easier in 2026. And, again, you can sit here and say, like, what are you talking about? Wisconsin stinks. It's like, well, do they? They're hitting the portal again. It's just stuff like that where you start to look for things, and it's good coach, real investment, get some veteran guys on your roster, and I think you got a chance. And then I think you can find a bunch of other programs in the Big Ten that could fit that.
Well, to that point, Doug, in terms of Wisconsin, I look at what Virginia did last offseason where they kept Tony Elliott and they said instead of paying the buyout, we're going to invest in the roster. And they were able to make a big jump to the point where they were playing for the ACC championship. So I could see a similar path for Wisconsin, maybe not playing for the conference championship, but a big turnaround there. I wanted to get your thoughts on Ohio State and the offensive coordinator search that is happening or maybe not happening. I'm not currently convinced that Ohio State is hiring an offensive coordinator. Which way do you lean on that, and who maybe would be on the list of candidates, if you know?
So I am operating under the assumption that they would be interested in random NFL guy with some play calling chops who doesn't get another job. So I am like the idea that it hasn't happened yet. You know, Patricia didn't happen until February last year. And you just look at the NFL coaching carousel, like, remains chaotic, right? And so I just am sort of anticipating that the play callers out there, guys with OC experience, there's going to be a couple guys, maybe one or two, who have been play callers, don't get a head coaching job, don't then get an OC job, and are looking for a gig. And then, like, I'm sort of waiting for that to calm down, and then maybe Ryan Day to say, okay, like, where are we? Who's available? And then maybe, I guess, if there's nobody that fits what you want, maybe then you don't hire somebody. But I remain, like, sort of open, understanding that it would make sense to me that Ohio State's if they're interested in NFL guys, they're waiting to see what happens to see who might be around. And maybe it's Todd Monken. Maybe it's Joe Brady. Maybe it's Brian Dable. Maybe it's a name we haven't thought of yet. But I don't think that's impossible, and it would make total sense to me. And sort of random guy who's done it, I think would make sense and be a good hire. There's not like a specific style of play caller or a guy with this specific experience that I think Ohio State would need. Just somebody who knows what's up.
Doug, what did you make of how Ohio State, felt like to me like they kind of pivoted on the fly with recruiting and portal, and I think we'll see significant changes going forward. But now that roster's relatively in place, what do you make of what Ryan Day, Mark Pantoni did with that roster?
Yeah, so whether by necessity or by choice, or I think realistically some combination of the two, it's a potential for production trade-off, right? And that if you think about that defense, which is losing a lot of starters, if you had not hit the portal for some guys who have played, you really would have been looking at a young defense next year. Now, that would have been – we've seen that before. So if you're thinking about Fahim Delane, second-year guy, stepping up, new starter. Aaron Scott, third-year guy, stepping up, new starter. Like just all those kind of guys, Riley Pettijohn, like that hadn't played before, that's normal, except that makes you young. And, man, old is winning. Old is winning in college football right now, whether it's the portal or it's retention. I think there's almost like a minimum threshold of how experienced you have to be. So adding John Walker and James Smith and Christian Allegro and Earl Little and Terry Moore, I think has now gotten them. And I've over on our Substack, I've been writing about sort of like, is there a minimum? I maybe have it like around 20,000 career snaps for your top 30 players, like the guys you're going to be out. Yeah. Like Ohio State, I think, is now at that minimum. If they had not gotten guys in the portal, they wouldn't be. They weren't this year. They were young compared to this run of national champions. They were young, much younger than Indiana, much younger than Miami, much younger than 2024 Ohio State. Mm-hmm. So I think there is probably like, you don't want to give up on potential, but if you don't have enough homegrown guys, they have like 7 guys left from their 2023 recruiting class, who are going to be homegrown fourth-year guys, and they added 7. So they've rebuilt their senior class. And so I think you have to do that. And I think it's whether it's retention or portal, the less you retain, the more portal you have to hit. I don't think Ohio State has to live in the portal, but I think you have to be at least this old. And I think with these moves, they got there.
Yeah, I mean, you hear a lot of coaches talking about it. I know it's something that's floating around Ryan Day's mind, this idea of being more veteran. You mentioned the correlation to winning. I think it was pretty evident this year in the two teams that made it to the championship game. Are there any other big picture takeaways that you have from this college football season?
Margins matter. Coaching really matters, right? That when that the talent is starting to equalize in a way that, if you can find something in your scheme, if you can make a great call on fourth down, right? If you can make sure that your special teams are locked in, just having the best guys is not enough anymore, right? Of course you have to have talent, but I do think, we're going to be talking about the decision by Cignetti to go on fourth down, that Mendoza draw that worked, like all that kind of stuff. It's like you have to be ready to do that. What are you ready to do to get your team over the hump when you're playing more? Ryan Day always talks about talent-equated games. That's a phrase he got from Urban, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you're going to be playing more of those. So I think you have to be more prepared, and then in that moment, the coaching, the margins matter even more. And I do think that's something that Ohio State and Ryan Day have to think about even more.
Couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, the talent's flattened out. So the common denominator is going to be those decisions, and I think it's going to end up a little bit more like the NFL, where you have that true parity. I'll get you out of here on this one. We're staying at 12 because the Big Ten and the SEC can't play in the sandbox together, and so we stay at 12. But in that comes an automatic qualifier for the conference champions. So in this instance, for example, this year Duke would have been in, and Miami would have been out. Also, Notre Dame would have been in as one of the top 12 overall seeds. I was surprised that they did that anyone would say, well, Duke should have been in this thing and we got to fix that going forward. What do you make of staying at 12, and what do you make of that addition that they added?
I'm glad we're not at 24. So anything that keeps us from 24 and continues the conversation of let's not get to 24. I don't know that. I think Tony Petitti's on an island with 24. So this is one of those where it's like God bless Greg. Thank you for pushing back on 24. Like, Big Ten's doing a lot right. Let's get Tony Petitti off of that one. Everybody has to get their tiebreakers in order. So the problem is the ACC tiebreakers that would have kept Miami out of that conference championship game because their tiebreakers are stupid. So what is the point now, right? The point is to get a conference champ who can compete in the playoff. So make your tiebreakers whoever is ranked higher in the playoff rankings, because that's the point. And if the ACC had done that, Miami would have been in the conference championship game. So get your tiebreakers in order, and it's going to fix a lot of other stuff. And don't be obtuse about it. Who cares about common opponent and we're .581 and someone else is .587? That's not the point. Who's the better team? Well, how do we have a way of deciding the better team? The playoff committee is doing it for you. So if there's a tie, the top two teams in the playoff rankings have to go, and then a lot of this other stuff will fix itself. Because I do think in the end, like, two G5 teams, I'm here for the G5 getting a spot, of course. Two G5 teams because tiebreakers are stupid, that's kind of dumb. Nobody intended that. So let's get smart about it and fix it. So everybody get on that. Please, conference commissioners, get on this.
Thanks for continuing to make us smarter, buddy. Good talking to you as always.
Swing your swords, folks. Go north.
So I got Sherman over my shoulder. That is, of course, Doug Lesmerises, the Bill and Doug Show on YouTube. The Substack is billandougosu.substack.com. We'll get you three things on a Friday coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then they help you do more with it. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Do you want free internet forever? Yeah, we thought so. That's why Spectrum is giving you just that. Free fiber-powered internet forever when you switch and get 4 mobile lines from Spectrum. No internet bills, no taxes, no late fees. Just fast fiber-powered internet. Call 833-901-0178 to find out how. But hurry, this deal won't last forever. Once more, 833-901-0178. Or visit spectrum.com/freeforever to learn more.
Planning to buy a home in 2026? Not sure where to start? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency can help. With a step-by-step homebuyer's guide and financial tools, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency can make homeownership part of your future. Eligible homebuyers may qualify for down payment assistance and reduced mortgage interest rates. To see if you qualify and to find a mortgage lender, visit myohiohome.org. Again, that's myohiohome.org. Homeownership. Make it part of your future. Sponsored by the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
The Jackets are back at Nationwide for a battle with the lightning. Live fan coverage starts Saturday night at 6:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Right now, you can save on Kroger brand 80% lean ground beef. 3-pound rolls are just $4.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven. I feel valued as a member.
They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Hi, Bake. What are we on the poll today?
Hey, speaking of emails, Bo, we've got a bunch more today, so people are finding the new emails. So.
They're locked in. They're locked in. I feel bad for all those people that sent them.
that just got lost.
There's like hundreds of them.
Lost
I always read all of them, or I try to.
Today's fan poll over at 971thefan.com. Who do you think wins on Sunday and advances to Super Bowl 60? 66.4% of the people say the Patriots and Seahawks. 23.3% the Patriots and Rams. 6.9% the Broncos and Seahawks. And coming in last at 3.4%, the Broncos and Rams.
Who are you rooting for?
Rooting for Vrabes.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
I really don't have a rooting interest on the NFC side, honestly.
When you sit down to watch, will one be established? Is that kind of how you do it?
Yeah, I think I'll feel it out a little bit, and then I'll start pulling.
I think Vrabes and Travion on the Patriots side, and then JSN. He's had such a good year. It'd be great for him to make it to the Super Bowl after that insane year receiving he has had.
Imagine being the poor Patriot fans. They had to wait like 5 years to be back in an AFC championship
Rough
game.
life.
I mean, can you imagine suffering through that?
Oh, man.
And a lot of them, by the way, probably jumped with the Bucs with Brady. So they have a Super Bowl there, too. I'm sure they were rooting for him.
As a Browns fan, though, you can't not root for him because I'm never rooting for the Broncos. Screw them. No. Elway's going to be the honorary captain. Get out of here.
All right, time for three things on a Friday. Hit it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
All right, number one for me, Phillip Rivers. This is real. Phillip Rivers, per Adam Schefter, he was first with it, is interviewing for the head coaching job of the Buffalo Bills. And you'll say to yourself, well, that's crazy. What experience does he have? My retort to that would be, what more experience does he need? He played in the league for 20 years. Really smart guy, known from his time in San Diego and Los Angeles when he was there as someone who would call a lot of his own plays. He's a leader of men. Like, why couldn't he be? Why do we have to be someone who went through the ranks and be like, that's a way too. Like, there's no reason to believe that this can't be successful.
I'm out on it.
Poor guy's just trying to feed his kids.
Man.
Let him work.
He must. I'm not going to say it because I know.
You don't think he's capable?
Well, I do think he's capable. I feel like sometimes I get that he's been around it. I get that he has the knowledge. That is a different type of job than what he's done before. And also, go spend time with your family. Like, you must not like your family very much. Go relax, please.
You're just saying that because your kids are little.
Well,
wait till they become jerks. Then you'd want 16 jobs too.
I've got a couple. And again, my terrible twos are coming up. So I kind of get that. All right. My first thing, we talked about it a little bit, but Miami, Indiana, second most watched CFP title game behind, of course, Ohio State, Oregon in 14. It stands out to me that the two most watched championship games of the playoff era did not include a singular team from the Southeastern Conference. I don't know if that's just a thing. It's just a trend that popped out to me when I saw the two most watched games.
My first thing, the Columbus Dispatch put out an article today that said Ohioans are some of the least distracted drivers in the country. That they have the less clicks on their phone per minute or per hour than most drivers.
Sure.
I want to know who's pulling this data because I don't know if you have seen this, if you've driven around, at least the Columbus area. There's a lot of distracted driving, and I think it's something that we could all do better on. I'm not casting stones on everyone else. I'll take my slings and arrows here too, but I don't know about this study. I don't know if I trust the accuracy of it. And I know this is two separate things. I think you're going to see how good Ohio drivers are this weekend, and it's not great.
Yeah.
I would say this, and I've never understood this with the advent of smartphones and all of that. I think it's pretty crazy that they didn't just put something in cars that disabled phones as soon as you get in one. Like, doesn't that solve it?
But then what would your kids watch in the back seat?
Yeah, they'd have to actually have dialogue.
What
an amazing thing that would be.
We can't do that. This is America.
Like, have a little thought, and maybe we just disable them, and then you wouldn't have it. Let's just take away the problem.
Can't do it.
Number two for me, and I'll stay in that lane because one of the most distracted things that I have to deal with every single day is a drop-off line for my kids. So there's a semicircle, Joshua, and there are waivers that force upwards of 16 cars to drop off at once. But at a certain time, the waivers go in, and then society can't govern itself. So all of a sudden, instead of 16, the car who's first pulls up right in front of the door, and now only 5 people can get out. And that causes a backup that causes kids to get tardy because, of course, of the selfishness. Yesterday, I was the guy who had to decide where the line was going to go to. And I've done this before, and nobody followed me. I pulled all the way around so a full 16 cars could unload. And I'll be damned if the minivan behind me didn't follow and the car behind them followed. I wanted to get out and hug the driver of the minivan behind me and say, that is how society has to operate. Good job out of you.
I've done the pickup and drop off with Maddie's younger sisters, and my kids are getting on the bus. I'm not doing that. It's stressful. Like, I'm gonna start my day stressed out, and then I'm gonna have my midday be stressed out too. Like, absolutely not in the cards for me. All right, my second thing is going back to the TV numbers from the college football playoff. There are gonna be a lot of people shaking hands and patting themselves on the back like they did something the right way, like they did something impressive because of the TV numbers. And this sport, and you said it best, continues to succeed in spite of itself. There were 51 days between the end of the regular season and the championship game that happened down in Miami. It's on a random Monday in January, not even a day of the week that the sport has ever played on. And they continue to be successful, and people are going to take credit for it like they did something, and I don't like that very much.
Second thing for me, when you're sitting there Sunday morning snowed in and can't go anywhere, or you're like Bo and you're sipping on your coffee waiting for the guys to plow your driveway so you can go to Costco, make sure you turn into the Fan Call-In Show. Dave Bettle's going to be in with me this week for Scotty Vegas. We would love to hear from you guys. It's a whole hour where you can just call in and dictate the show, so we'd love to hear from you.
I listen to you guys every weekend on my way to U Sports. And speaking of that, my final thing, this is our basketball league tournament weekend. I have no idea how we're going to be able to get it in. Just no clue. So if you're out there and you have U Sports, if you're out getting around, just be safe. My rule on all of this is just go half as fast as you think you should, and everyone can get from one place to another without accident.
With you on that. Too many overconfident drivers who think that four-wheel drive means that you can just stop on a dime. That's crazy. My third thing, just be smart and be safe. Could be crazy this weekend. Hope everybody avoids it.
And final thing for all of us, Rothman and Ice are coming up next. They'll talk some college football with Howard Griffith, and then some NFL championship weekend with Sam Monson.
You have that to look forward to, which is very, very nice. Have a good, safe weekend, everybody. We're back Monday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.